because I don't have that open right now. So that's there, there. All that stuff should be mixed together. Okay, so I can go on over to the chat window and hope for the best. So in case this is working, I guess I'll just get this out of the way. Hello, World Wide Web. I'm Dr. Shadow, the United Personality of us here, and welcome to Live and Wired, episode 53. Happy Horrordays. Joining.
Forgot what the title was for a second there.
Yes, I did. Okay, we got chat. Gravsnorm McCaffrey says, "What's up?" Tony Robinson says, "What's up, guys?" Pedro Villalon says, "My leg!" Lone Dragon says, "Decker, creepy." Okay, so that's all on YouTube. We are live on YouTube, which is good, which we also are on live on 4 other platforms at the moment. Twitch and Mixer, we got it back on there. I had a pretty busy day today, and I didn't actually have anything set up to properly do this about 5 minutes before we're supposed to go live. Drumart01 on Periscope says, "Hey Decker, hello." I gotta get the actual YouTube window open at some point so that I can properly check the chat for super chats and all that stuff, because that doesn't show up right in Restream. If this would actually load, that would also help. YouTube. Oh, okay, it's right there. Okay, I'm gonna copy that and send that over to. Oh no, not that site. Okay, so in case you might have noticed, Patricia's not here today. So,
which would probably explain at least a little bit of the disorganization that we're going through right now.
Patricia's not here. Okay. Let's see. Got that going. I got that. Undo. Yeah, go to default view so I can see the chat. Yes, I have that chat open there. Good. Now I can get the Restream chat open here. Not like that. Okay. Okay. So, do a review on Overlord and Avengers Endgame. We got a super chat from Adam Kasdorf. "Hey Decker and Creepy, just watched the Power Rangers review, and that was the funniest thing I've seen all day." Thank you.
Thank you. I've noticed that I actually found a rather hilarious comment on yesterday. I was scrolling through the comments after
my hair was in my mouth, and I was trying to get it out of my mouth, but it was still connected to my head. It's not a good day.
And that's a statement that just got said on a live stream. Stick around.
Well, I'm sitting here like, I feel like needs a little explanation.
And that was nothing like an explanation. That was, again, just random words that came out. I was watching the Power Rangers review after it went up, and afterwards I got curious. I was doing a tally basically privately. I was like, let's see if there's like a ratio between the number of people who are happy that we're doing a crossover to the number of people who are praying for my death. So I scrolled down, but interestingly enough, it seemed like the majority of people didn't really react to the fact that there was a crossover, more just reacting to the fact that we reviewed Power Rangers. There were people who did say that. I feel like there were more people this time, or at least since the last time I checked, who were in favor of the crossover, and there were like a handful of people who were like, "I hate creepy," and that was just the end of it. Although it does seem as if like they just can't quite muster the energy that they used to have, like the bile and rage that they used to throw out there. There haven't been any slurs or any death threats or anything like that.
It's just more of a it's creepy again.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. It's more just a general sense of disappointment. And there was this one comment that I found that I did. They were saying that every time Creepy used to do a crossover with Decker, I would scroll through the comments. It was like a parade of bile and rage. Everybody hated him, and it was just such a joy to watch. Now it seems like they've all gone away, and I'm disappointed.
Simone J. Storgren says, "Yay, my first Shadow Decker live stream. Hello. Hi." And Lone Dragon says, "Heart creepy."
I see that. Also, Michael Bermudez says, "Creepy forced Decker to review Power Rangers Turbo." And we actually do plan to review Power Rangers Turbo at some point. Also, for those of you who
Both
are
Wine
wondering
on
here,
Twitch says it's enjoyable with the crossovers. You guys bounce comments off each other. I lost my position. Off each other well. And I think that has to do with the fact that a lot of times when we're scripting crossovers, we're just kind of talking to each other and writing it down. We get to this part of the movie, and can you believe this? And then there's like another thing. It's like, okay, let's figure out which parts of those to cut out, because otherwise the review's not going to move forward sometimes. We have to actually cut it back.
Right.
we bounce back and forth so much on some topics.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. We actually have to remember at some point that we were supposed to be reviewing something.
Logan Zimmerman says, "Hey, Decker, this is Logan. Can you review Dinosaur 2000 for Dinocember? The 2000 Disney's Dinosaur, I assume? That's actually, like, when we were coming up with the script for the Power Rangers review, Creepy was asking me, what's a dinosaur movie that I would absolutely never want to review, and that's what I came up with, specifically because I never actually saw it. I assume actually it's not too bad of a movie, but the thing is, when it came out, 2000, I was 17. I was still pretty young and very into dinosaurs, into paleontology level into dinosaurs. And when I saw the trailers and the commercials for Disney's Dinosaur, and it was like a nondescript biped just speaking his lines with his perfect lip sync, and I was just looking at that like, what the fuck is this? This has nothing to do with dinosaurs.
This offends my religion, which I don't actually have one. So.
Exactly. And I have a little snack, just some corn on a knife. You know, like that saying. I eat my peas with honey. You know that saying?
No, I do not.
I eat my peas with honey. I've done so all my life. It makes them taste quite funny, but it keeps them on my knife.
Oh. All right, then. Seems like you could just not eat with a knife, but oh well. You do you.
Godzilla Productions TV says, as you do.
As you do. Yeah, two earlier comments I noticed. Someone asked me if I had a morpher. I do not. I always wanted one of the classic.
I think Linkar's got one. I think at least one.
He has. Of the ones that I have seen, the ones that I know about, he has a classic Mighty Morphin Power Morpher. He has the Zeonizer from Power Rangers Zeo, and he has a Mega Morpher from Power Rangers Megaforce.
Southern Yankees asking, where is Patricia? Decker, did you scare her off again? I don't think so. She just can't make it tonight. I assume it's the holidays. Everything's really busy. As you can tell from the fact that it was like, I looked at the clock, it's like 5 minutes until go time. I'm like, oh shit!
Yeah, I've been sitting here wondering if everything was okay, starting to get really, really concerned as the timer clicked down. And then, like 5 minutes before go time, I get the phone call, I get the Discord call, and I'm like, okay, this is a little late to be doing this, but all right. I assume he's got everything, and the call goes through, and Decker's not even sitting in his seat. He's running all over the house, screaming at the top of his lungs. It's a shame we weren't live then, because that was actually quite hilarious.
Oh, God. I just turned a thing on, and I'm trying to figure out where it is. Oh, there it is. Okay. Mm-hmm. I tried to turn the tip jar on, and it's acted really strange, but it remembered all of what was happening, so that's good. I just, because of the whole thing with how everything's set up, I don't have the other viewers set up on the view count yet, though. Because I turned because last time we could only do it on YouTube because everything messed up, because the channel was not in good standing, which it still isn't, which is why everything just went up right away instead of there being an event that people could wait until the time to start, and then it starts. Instead of that, okay, now I'm seeing all this chat moving on the main channel, and I don't see it on moving quite as much on the restream chat. That's what I worry about. That's why I gotta keep that up as well. Got a new subscriber, Marcus Parking. Welcome.
Yeah. Also, Camel G Unit, thank you very much. I appreciate the hug. That's very greatly appreciated.
What about the
Our
Dinosaurs TV series? I fucking loved that as a kid, actually.
I did
Even though that
too!
was
I
even more nondescript, even just general dinosaur-ish forms, and it clearly had fuck all to do with dinosaurs, but it was just fun.
I know. I fully expected Decker to say that he hated that, and I am so happy that you did. I loved that show so much. It was just, to me, it was just freaking hilarious.
I love
I
how the
remember,
dinosaurs went extinct over wax fruit.
Yeah, it was like Earl Sinclair, like he caused like this massive ecological disaster that like basically caused all of the dinosaurs to go extinct.
Move the tip jar, the words are over Creepy's face. Well, I can move it, like, up here, but then the words are just going to be gone completely. I think that works, though. Like, you just still see the things dropping into the jar and what they may or may not do.
You think it works because it's over my face.
Yeah, I preferred that, personally. I mean, the way it cuts in, it was slightly over my camera, but I was far enough to the side, it didn't matter. It's like it came out of my door, whacked you in the face, and then dropped in the jar. I was like, this is a perfect angle, but people were like, no, it's changed it. I'm like, okay, fine. Oh yeah, Rewind 2019 was a thing that happened, says Schmoopytron. I just actually watched it a couple of minutes ago. Charlie put it on. It is a thing. It's like, is it better than the previous rewinds? It's like, yes, but it's also far more low effort. The thing with the previous rewinds is they were overblown, really just way too just in your face, this huge celebration, and it was completely out of touch. That was the problem for years with YouTube Rewind. This YouTube Rewind actually does talk about things that did actually happen on YouTube and certain things that have been passed, like so many likes here, so many subscribers there. And it's just done in a top 10 list.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like the Facebook auto-generated memory flipbook of YouTube. Are you guys into Warhammer 40k? Asks Barack Drone Bama. I had a Tyranid army, but I never actually got to play. Like I didn't have I didn't have much money at that point in my life either. I don't have that much money now either. Come to think of it,
Warhammer is a hell of a drug.
Oh God, yes. But I did enjoy painting my Tyranids.
Mm-hmm.
I had an old One Eye, but the thing never frickin' the glue never kept on. It kept falling apart on me because it's made out of pewter. This huge, massive, like crustacean alien. This old One Eye, and I was trying to put the damn thing together, but it would fall off. And the more glue you use, the less the glue works when it comes to super glue. So I keep trying to put it back on and keep falling apart. And eventually, like around my house, we just nicknamed the figure Old One Arm.
Riveting.
That's my experience with Warhammer 40k. I spent a lot of money on figures, never actually really got to play. I think I played a little bit with my brother. He had a Dark Eldar army that I don't know if he even painted it, actually. But he wasn't too into it, which means I didn't get to play it that much. And my army was never up to snuff to actually bring it to an actual thing where people are actually seriously playing together. So, yeah. Cheers to you guys. Where's Patty? Patty is taking a little bit of a break tonight. So I'm not entirely sure what's going on, but I assume it is important, because, life tends to be that way. Life is full of important things, and a lot of things happen at the same time, and you gotta make choices.
Very true. Also, the holiday season.
Oh, yeah. There we go. So, Creepy, I don't know if you brought anything, but I have a little bit of Modelo. So, Modelo Negra. It's Mexican Guinness. It is very nice and cheap.
Mm-hmm. I suspect that the last part was the most important one.
Absolutely. I mean, Guinness is like $10 for a 6-pack. This is also about $10 for a 6-pack, but they have the 12-pack for $13.
So they're charging you more for the 6-pack and charging you less for the 12-pack.
Yes. I mean, the ratio between the two is ridiculous, but, But yeah, we have news today. News of all the things that are live and or wired. If I can remember what in the hell they are, that would be helpful.
Didn't you have a news sheet?
Yes, I did. Patricia made the news sheet for us. As we're getting ready for the holidays, we should probably, before we get into the Christmas spirits, dig into the Halloween stuff that, if Halloween can be brushed over so Christmas can barge in, Halloween can extend itself a little more into the Christmas season. That's only fair. So, yes. Here we go. I think I'll take this one. This is a little article on joblo.com. Arrow in the head. Okay. Arrow in the head article.
There are so many things about what you just said that did not sound right to me.
Yeah, they rarely do. What's it? Oh god, it was already open. Okay. I moved the box and it moved it over. I opened it twice. Okay. Anyway, Jamie Lee Curtis
for almost 2 years now.
Jamie Lee Curtis condemns parents who show their kids Halloween. I don't know why. I mean, of all the things that happened in my childhood, seeing the occasional horror movie was the up part.
Mm-hmm.
that was the positive aspect of my youth. Alien is seeing Alien was like a great, wonderful thing. Phantom of the Paradise, still like possibly my favorite movie ever.
And then you have the very first movie that you ever reviewed, Beastmaster, which took you,
which I thought was a horror movie because I had seen it, and I remembered only the most horrifying scene.
Yeah, I remember. I was like, you were like what, 4 or 5 when that happened, and you told me, like, for years you were having trouble remembering what the movie actually was or what it was called. And you kept describing that one scene, and I was just like, hang on a minute. I was like, that sounds a little familiar, but I couldn't place it either. And then one day it just sort of pinged into my head. I did a YouTube search for, like, for that scene.
It sent that scene to me, and I was like, yeah, that's it. What is it? It's Beastmaster. It's not a horror movie, you idiot.
It's a fantasy movie. Although I will say that one scene was kind of terrifying, so easy for you to understand what the hell that was the case.
So, yeah. Jamie Lee Curtis is best known around these parts and always will be for her role as Laurie Strode in John Carpenter's Halloween. And today we've learned that Curtis thinks that parents who show their kids Halloween are the worst human beings on the planet. I mean, yeah, I was beaten and starved, but sure, this is the movie. That's the
Yeah. I mean, like, I can think of worse things that happened to me than seeing.
I didn't even particularly like the movie. You know that.
One thing I remember is, like, I can remember being in, like, 2nd, maybe 3rd grade, and it was like, it was just kind of a, like, there was this one time during lunch period, and somehow, I don't remember how, but we all ended up having a conversation about what horror movies that we had seen. And I remember that Halloween was one of those movies that came up, and they all described Halloween. I had not seen it yet, and they all described Halloween. It was several years later before I ever saw it, but they all described the movie as if it were the most terrifying thing that they had ever seen. And then I actually saw the movie, and I'm just like, well, maybe it's scarier when you're a kid, I guess.
I don't know. Everyone knows my opinion. I made a big video about it. So
yeah.
We also have a super chat
from
a
lot of fans were not happy with you.
Oh yeah. We got a super chat from Don Ochtenberg saying, "Hey Decker and Creepy, when can we expect the Godzilla King of the Monsters 2019 review?"
That is a good question.
Now, unfortunately, Godzilla just can't fit into Dino Semba. It's sad, really. Corn. Okay, so, I'm not demeaning children or saying they can't handle violence, but it's the truth. When I go out to talk about Halloween, even when I was doing book tours for books for children, I would have people come they will stand there with their 5-year-old and say to me, "My Bobby loves Halloween. Don't you, Bobby?" And I look at them, and I have the meanest JLC and "Are you out of your fucking mind" look on you. Look, of you are the worst human being on the planet that you would show your child Halloween. I have a kind of strong opinion, as you can tell, about when it's correct and incorrect to expose a child to that stuff. I mean, I'm not saying that it's a great thing to show your kid horror movies at like 5, but at the same time, the worst aspect, I'm like, no.
Yeah. Ken, real quick, this is relevant to what we're talking about. Ken Mabel says, it's maybe, I think. I was in 3rd grade when shows like Tales from the Dark Side and Creature Double Feature and Freddy's Nightmare were on TV. And I remember kids watching like Tales from the Dark Side or Tales from the Crypt Keeper, and I'm just like, and I hear someone freaking out about that right now, and I'm just like, I mean, like Decker said, I mean, without going into a lot of details, I mean, like Decker and I went through some things that were fairly traumatic, for actual kids to be exposed to, and scary movies were just, well, some of them were scary, but I mean
as a young kid, when it's really hard to differentiate, that shit's fake.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even if you know it, it's still just something about the way your brain is built. It still feels real.
Mm-hmm.
And it can be really fucking scary.
Yeah.
But, it is just how it is. And, if I have a 5-year-old, I'm surrounded by horror. I'm not going to be like, "Hey, Jimmy, let's go. We're going to fucking sit down and watch Alien. We're going to watch a chestbuster scene on repeat for 12 hours. You're going to love it." I don't think that that's how I would be going about it, but at the same time, I'm pretty freaking sure any child of mine is probably going to be exposed to horror a little earlier than most. Just because it's the environment.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, Decker, I'm trying to imagine Decker actually forbidding his child to watch any horror movies, and I'm like, well, damn, that just means every DVD in the house is never going to be watched by anyone but him. And then I'm just like, and I'm imagining, like...
Teddy Rubskin is in the chat. He said, "Blair Witch was scary until I actually watched it."
And then, but like, I imagine Decker, like, if Decker forbade his child from watching something, like, the kid would just be like, "Yeah, sure," and wait until Decker was, like, distracted by any of the things that distract him, like shiny objects or going to the store or anything. He would just take down a movie, put it into the DVD, to the Blu-ray or whatever the hell, by that point that happens. Watches it and then just like, "This was what Dad forbid me to see." Wow, Dad was a pussy when he was a kid.
Yeah, I just imagine, like, what's gonna happen is, like, I'm gonna go to pick my kid up from preschool, and they're gonna look at me and they're gonna be like, "Decker, why is little Jack going around saying motherfucking chainsaw hands?"
Now that I can actually believe would happen, and you don't have anyone to blame for that but yourself. What? Arts and crafts project. That would be your...
No one of importance says, "Yeah, anyone remember watching the original Sleeping Beauty? Remember when Maleficent turned into a giant dragon and tries to kill the prince?" Yeah, that's scarier than Halloween. You remember the ending of Disney's Little Mermaid, where Ursula turns into this massive freaking kraken with the god powers and is like bringing lightning down, and just there's a huge whirlpool, and it's like, even if he fucking wins, he's dead. And then they impale her ass. That's how, and she takes the ship down with her too. It's like, it's a pretty extreme situation, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Snow White, the trees turning to crocodiles and creepy grabbing hands. Jerry the ferret asks, "Wait, is Decker having a kid?" Not right now. Not right this red hot minute. There is nothing in the incubator, I'm afraid. But you never know.
I'm trying to see what the cat is doing. Okay.
Teddy
She's over
Ruxpin.
by.
Teddy Ruxpin says they saw Predator when they were very young. They don't remember how old they were, but their parents were more concerned about the language than the violence or scariness.
That's something I do remember. Like when I was in like my preteen years for a long time. Like violence wasn't really a. I remember violence and sexuality not being a real big thing that people were concerned about until, interestingly enough, just before I hit my teen years. You know, it was right around the time when I was like 11 and 12. That was when those started to become hot button topics. When I was younger than that, when I was a kid, it was bad language. You know, it was kids saying dirty words. That was the big thing that moral guardians were getting their panties in a twist over. It was the thing. It was like, what are kids saying right now? You know, the thought police aspect of it didn't creep. You know, and exposing them to violence and sex didn't happen until about 91, 92.
Barack Drone Bama dropped $2 and asks, "What's the scariest movie that you have ever seen?" And that's kind of a toughie, because a lot of times I just kind of get used to things after a while, and then I feel like, okay, things don't scare me, and I go, but like it's not a movie, but one of the things that I just recently picked up again after already playing the hell out of it, Alien Isolation. I did a playthrough of that on my gaming channel, and was pretty damn scary at first, and then as I kept going on, I got more and more desensitized to the idea, and I'm just thinking of the gameplay, and like Amanda Ripley is like falling down a thing in this fire, and she hurts her leg, and she's like, and I'm just like, get the fuck up, bitch! If you've been through this before, just keep going, just go. It recently just came out on Nintendo Switch, and it's actually like I thought it would be. Fortunately, they did pull that off. It was a very well-optimized version. According to the guys at Digital Foundry, they like the anti-aliasing techniques used so much they say that it actually looks better than the Xbox One or PlayStation 4 versions of the game. But note that specifically the anti-aliasing they're talking about. It has a dynamic resolution instead of being locked at 1080p. It's still 30 frames a second. It has a harsher level of detail and no ambient occlusion, stuff like that. There are things stripped back to get it to run on Switch, but the anti-aliasing is nicer, so it doesn't have a problem with jaggies. So I picked that up. I'm like, cool. I'm gonna play through this again, have a nice fun time, and have it look all nice and smooth. And then I started playing it again, and then I was like hiding under a desk, and I could hear the fucking alien going around and doing his shit, and I'm just there like, where am I going? What am I doing? What the fuck is that? Why did I do this again? Why am I doing this to myself? It was just absolutely fucking terrifying all over again. It had been so long since I played the game, and I forgot just how scary it can be. So yeah. I'm no longer desensitized to that. So, but I remember as a kid, one of the scariest movies I saw for some reason was Little Monsters. It was a kids movie, but dear God, did they have some scary ass shit in there?
Decker, you've got a $5 super chat from Richard Zavala. Hey Decker, thank you for your awesome reviews. Love your channel. Keep it up, good sir.
Thank you very much.
Also, someone actually correctly named the movie or movies that I still consider scary, and that is Andres Calderon Sanchez, and they said, "Yep, it's Chucky."
Fair enough, but one of the scariest. I know it's like one scene that really bothered me in a movie, like when I was younger, not like kid young, but still pretty young. That like it was a kind of nightmare material for a while. Is from one of the shitty Jaws sequels, but it's the one where it's like the image from inside the shark as someone's being eaten.
I remember there being a scene like that in Jaws 3, but it was like Jaws opened his mouth and there was a dead body inside of him.
I just remember the person being eaten, and you see it from the perspective of the person being eaten. And it's like, get the fuck out of those jaws. I was like, can't do it. And I'm like, that is really unsettling right there, actually, thinking about that.
Yeah. Jerry the Ferret said, my dad told me as long as he never heard the words out of my mouth, I could watch them.
It really gets me, really confuses me about the whole vore fetish, personally. Like, that is just, no. No, that is absolutely terrifying. How could you get off on that?
But yeah, Jerry the Ferret said, my dad told me as long as he never heard the words out of my mouth, I could watch them. I feel like being exposed to that stuff makes it less taboo. I honestly feel less inclined to swear than my peers.
Yeah.
And that actually is something that I had a conversation with someone about. This was several years ago, but they asked me what did I think about, young kids learning about sex? And I told them, honestly, I think half the reason why little kids and teenagers are obsessed about it as it is, aside from hormones, is just because it is so taboo.
Yeah.
Like, if you gave if you started teaching first graders about it, now I'm not saying like going into a lot of details, but if you just started making like the very rudimentary stuff about it available to first graders and build it up as the way you do any other form of education, like math, you learn the bare bones.
It's gonna be a hell of a Schoolhouse Rock.
Yeah, that would be a hell of a Schoolhouse Rock song. But honestly, I think when it stops being taboo, when it stops being something that no one wants to talk about, kids lose interest in it. It just becomes a thing that they have to learn about. So, they learn about, in first grade, it's like, so boys have outies and girls have innies, basically. And then you go up from there each grade, So by the time you get to, like, the actual stuff about puberty in 6th grade, the kids are just going to be like, well, we knew that this was going to happen to us in, like, 3rd grade. So, why is this such a big deal?
Godzilla Productions TV asks, may I ask how you were a child and then an adult? Passage of time.
Yeah.
It's generally how it works.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we should probably read out a little bit more news.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes, here's one from the... yes, I want to open the link. This is one from the title card. I'm going to send that to you, Creepy, over to Skype. Is that open, or should I send it over something else?
Send it over to Discord, because I don't have Skype open.
Well, Discord isn't going to work for me, because I got to go over here. It's going to be all kinds of weird. So how about Hangouts?
That works.
Okay, I can do that.
I do have Hangouts open.
And
While you're doing that, we have $9.99 super chat from John Tremaine. Hey, Decker and Creepy, just wanted to say I love your videos, Decker and Creepy. You're great. I love the videos that you guys team up in. Carry on the greatness, guys. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. So let's see. Can I get over here, do this stuff and that? And yes. Okay.
Okay.
Where's Patricia Part 2? That's pretty much this episode of Live and Wired.
I think that should have been the name of this whole episode. Where in the world is Patricia Miranda?
Okay.
Still waiting for it to load.
Ah, wonderful. Gonna be one of those articles.
Yeah. Okay. Refresh the page.
So, would donate, but you don't know how it works? Oh, it's we got the super chat integrated in on YouTube. Also have I don't have the page open there. We do have a thing going on Twitch where it has the donations through PayPal there, I believe. But there's also the merch store integrated in Twitch with all that stuff that no one wants to buy because it's really freaking expensive, and I kind of can't help it too much because I got some Live and Wired hats. They look nice, but they're $30 fucking. And it's like, oh god, that's some nice embroidery, but Jesus.
Last year, a man by the name of Stephen Newland turned 4 fake Christmas trees into Treezilla, a towering holiday monstrosity shaped like the king of the monsters, wrapped up in lights and equipped with glowing red eyes and the ability to breathe fog machine smoke. Because if you're going to go this far, why not? Treezilla features plastic teeth and paper claws, his head adorned with a Santa hat. Okay, it's this last thing right here that really confused me. Why a Santa hat?
Christmas!
The badass custom Christmas tree, which Newland originally shared through a
Santa
YouTube
Claus is
video
crushing
last
the
December,
town.
is now up for auction from the
Santa
New
Claus is
Zealand-based
crushing the
site
town.
TradeMe.
Santa.
At the time of writing,
Sorry. Okay.
At the time of writing this article, Treezilla has passed the reserve amount with a current bid of $305, and the auction is set to run until November 27th at 7:30 p.m.
So this was news this was news that came right after the last episode of Live and Wired. It's hard to do a news show every 2 weeks because the time you get the news, it ain't news anymore.
Pretty much. The tree measures approximately 6 feet tall, 1.8 meters, and Newland notes that the winning bidder will also become the new owner of his adorable Godzilla stocking. And that's it. Someone had time to do this, apparently.
Absolutely.
Okay,
so
there we go.
There was a question, where can you get Live and Wired mugs? Those are currently available in the Streamlabs merch store. If you head over to the Twitch channel, they are listed down there. There's the hats and the mugs, and the mugs are much more reasonably priced, I think, at like $15 each. But I don't know why the Streamlabs merch costs so damn much.
Might want to find it. Might want to post that on Twitter. Give people a way to actually follow the link.
Captain Scruffybeard says, "What do you use for your best hair and beard on the internet?" I assume they're talking to you, Creepy.
I just use a shampoo conditioner combo. Believe it or not, I use a herbal essence. Like I just
I use Herbal Essence as a separate shampoo from conditioner. The Herbal Essence is long-term relationship. That's specifically. They don't freaking have it at my Walmart anymore. I got a special order that shit on Amazon and have it sent out to my boondocks ass house.
Do you still step out of the shower going yes, yes, yes
every single day?
Do people still comment on that scene from the video?
I haven't checked in a while.
Okay.
Let's see.
Camel G Unit says, "Creepy, I need to tell you, at first I had no idea that you guys were buddies, so I was, why is Decker so afraid of him? Then I understood that you are buddies, you grew on me, and now I love you." Okay.
Takeo Masaki said, "Decker has a black cat." Yeah, that was Tara that just walked by. But actually, hey, Tara's still over there. It's hard to tell, but she is. Tara, hi. But yeah, that's one of the cats. That's my cat, Tara. My fiancée, she also has her own black cat named Dobby. He's evil.
Yeah.
Motorcycle US dropped $2 saying, "Creepy, doing Supernatural Xmas early?"
It's always supernatural around here. Brendan Kilgore, at that long-haired creepy guy, what do you use for the kitty cat when washing? I don't wash her. I do not. I don't give her baths because she does not like it when people wash her.
She was standing trying to get to the door handle. I think she wants out.
Yeah.
Tara,
are you gonna let her out?
You want out, Tara, girl?
What she probably wants you to do is to quit asking her that, get up off your bony ass, and open the damn door.
Yeah, but I like it when she meows back when I talk to her. It makes me feel like we have a real connection.
I choose not to answer that.
Oh, boy.
Yes, you meant the Supernatural TV series. We did watch another Supernatural episode, and I do plan on doing another review of that. Whether it gets out or not in time for Christmas is, well, the usual. Yeah, we'll see.
Andreas Calderon Sanchez asked, "Creepy, if you opened a PO box and someone sent you a Chucky doll, would you end up accidentally taking out your house?"
It's possible, yes. Please don't do that.
Oh boy. But yeah. So should I tweet the? What's a dang? Okay, I don't know what I'm doing. There's
That's a given.
There's the Twitch. It's got the merch in the description. I think the alert box is set to actually show an alert if someone buys merch.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know because no one's ever done it on a live stream. There were a couple of sales of the I wanted a Surface Pro mugs, and I'm very happy about that because I do want that Surface Pro 7 because my current one is acting weird.
And because you never stop talking about it.
Oh, absolutely. It's just, it is my life. It is how I do things.
Also, Motorcycle US, they have an Xmas episode. Thought you might skip to it. We haven't watched that yet, but we'll see.
Okay. The video where you popped out of the refrigerator, how long did it take to empty and refill that fridge? Actually, it was very fortunate that we were doing pretty bad in the food department at the time. So we didn't have that much in the fridge in the first place. So it didn't take all that long. So I got everything out, set it on the table, and I think I also took the opportunity to clean the fridge while I was at it. So that's good. I got to clean the fridge again, but right now there's a turkey in there. So. I made a good turkey. I like my turkey. So, news. Yes, news. That's what this is, a news show.
You've been saying that for like half an hour.
Ooh, this is
gotten
nice.
One news.
Okay, a Funny or Die article.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that.
How big is too big? I don't care. Go away, ad. This ad is too fucking big, okay? Scroll down. Jesus. Okay. Boom. Someone made a gingerbread xenomorph and also won Christmas. I didn't know that it was a contest, but sure. There are many things to love about the holiday season, and usually the first items on that list come to mind are fun decorations and delicious food that is terrible for you. My personal favorite is when you bring them both together. That's right, I'm talking gingerbread houses. There are a few activities that generate the same pure, unadulterated joy as trying... There are few activities that generate the same pure, unadulterated joy as trying to hold walls of gingerbread that are more like concrete and less like cookies, using literally the worst icing on earth, which you squeezed from a bag that you cut way too big a hole in. Making gingerbread houses is something that everyone starts out extremely bad at, and nobody really ever gets better, which is something we all have in common, and that's kind of beautiful when you think about it. It's nice to all suck together. Well, not all of us struggle with gingerbread construction. Some people are actually insanely good at it, apparently. People like Caroline Eriksson, a cake designer from Norway who has more talent in her pinky nail than I do in both my icing and crumb-covered hands. Using home-baked custom pieces of gingerbread. Oh, that's cheating. Caroline created the magnum opus of holiday food decor. She made a goddamn xenomorph. Nice. Looks like more out of cardboard than gingerbread, if you ask me, but okay. After creating the inner skeleton, Caroline glued the gingerbread pieces she baked into it using melted sugar, and my takeaway from this is the icing that comes with gingerbread houses does, in fact, totally suck. I mean, there's really nothing else to say besides, holy shit. But if I had one criticism, it'd be that it definitely needs some more jujubes. That's a nice little article. Nice little article about a nice little xenomorph made of nice little gingerbread from a cake designer who totally cheated. Totally cheated. You don't...
Digger, we have two super chats real quick.
Okay.
Motorcycle US dropped $2 and said, "Decker, be glad creepy not introduced to Beetleborgs." Yes.
Oh, Beetleborgs. That sounds familiar and terrifying.
3 typical average kids inside a haunted mansion. Just
No,
by
no,
chance,
no,
free because
no,
you made
no.
them Beetleborg.
Ah!
Then
Oh.
new villains came along, blew away their powers. Beetleborgs were in a fix and now have gone metallics. I actually thought that the second season was the improved season of the two.
I like when you have to take a little break when you say that to emphasize that it's better than the other one, but I'm not saying it's like objectively good.
Yeah. Even with metallics, I feel like the best part of the series was actually how this is going to sound. I know. I feel like the best part of Beetleborgs Metallics was the ending, because the last like 10 or 13 episodes or so was like this whole arc where they had to find these coins, and there was a giant robot and just all this other weird shit that kept coming up, and I was like, this is actually kind of interesting. Beetleborgs managed to be semi-interesting for a change.
Yeah, the
and,
restream chat is definitely behind. That always annoys me.
Also, Creed Nation dropped $4.99 and said, Decker, will you review Terminator Salvation and Genesis? Personally, Salvation, it doesn't recycle the same plot. Genesis, it isn't Dark Fate.
I do want to finish the Terminator series of reviews, especially with Dark Fate having come out. And there's mixed there's mixed opinions about that. It clearly did not do well at the box office. It is a box office bomb. It is a flop. It is a failure in theaters, and they're going to be lucky to make the money back on home theater releases. Very expensive movie that did not make much money at the box office. But some say that it is very good, including folks like James Rolfe, who, I don't think that they're the kind to just say, oh yeah, whatever, it's fine. Because when it came for the 2016 Ghostbusters, he was like, I already know I'm not going to watch it. I'm not going to enjoy it, so I'm not going to bother seeing it. I'm not going to do a review of it. I'm just going to stay the fuck home. And there were a ton of articles written about him for daring to say that he's not going to watch a movie he has no interest in. So yeah.
Dakota Wheatley asked a random question: who would win in a ghost fight, Randy Savage or B. Arthur? B. Arthur. My money's on B. Arthur.
I'm trying. I know B. Arthur is coming to mind. I'm trying to think. Randy Savage. Who the hell? I know the name.
Randy Savage was I think he was a pro wrestler.
Okay, that's why I don't know.
Okay. Also, Nerd Bane dropped $2 and said, Terminator Dark Dank Farts. Okay.
Okay. I hope that's not a current work in progress for you. That's gonna scroll past my Twitter feed, and I'm gonna be like, no. Damn it, Nerd Bane, why? Oh yeah. Oh, that's Randy Savage. Oh. Macho Man Randy Savage. Macho Man Randy Savage. God damn it. He's Okay, now that actually makes it to an interesting little contest there. I mean, there aren't nearly as many Skyrim mods made out of B. Arthur. I'm just saying.
I'm still going for B. Arthur.
But Randy Savage can be dragons. He can be Deathclaws. I don't know what he's going to be in fucking, what the hell is it? Not Starbound, not Starmade. Those are two different games. What the hell's the one that Bethesda's doing? Starfield! That's right. I don't know what there's going to be in Starfield, but Randy Savage is going to be in it. Someone's going to mod his ass into the game. I know it. I've played too many damn sci-fi games. I'm getting confused. Yeah, the restream chat is just not fucking moving along, and that's pissing me off. It's been stuck on the same spot for like 4 minutes.
Kind of like you in a conversation.
Yeah. So I'm telling it to refresh it. It's just sitting there. great. Lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely.
Tony Robinson says, "Hey, Decker and Creepy, have you guys thought about reviewing all the Power Rangers seasons together?" That would be an interesting project. I'm not sure.
It would not. It would be a terrifying, torturous slog through pain and misery, is what it would be.
Which is why people want us to do it. They love.
I understand, but I don't. No, I can actually do things I like that you will also like.
Now I will say I am like that's a very tall order to ask for because the first season alone had something like 60 episodes, I want to say, and the other thing is that there's also the fact that Linkara has been since 2010, I believe it was, has been doing the history of Power Rangers. So there's that as well. But I won't lie, this actually would be a project that I would like to do.
Jabari Bloodbane says, "Have you ever thought of reviewing all the Hulk Hogan movies?" And I wouldn't mind that, actually.
The summer.
I just remember, like, what that was one of when I was really what was it, 10? Suburban Commando was like one of my favorite films. You remember Suburban Commando?
I remember Suburban Commando. Shep Ramsey was what he called himself. And that was what his character's name was. And I'm just like, looking back on it, I'm like, wow, that is the name you give to a character if you are writing a porn parody or if you are trying too hard.
Yeah, Dad! No wonder you guys never talk.
I did remember thinking that was very funny.
But I don't think that I'm going to keep repeating that I was frozen today for months after reviewing it.
Yeah.
It's just a thing. I mean, it works in the movie. That specific movie. Well, okay, it probably works in a few other movies, like Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
It could work there, like the whole city could say it.
Hollywood is frozen.
Yeah. That's. I was thinking of that scene too. You're gonna pound my face in, right? Are you nuts? This is the 90s. We're gonna sue
you.
I'm gonna take every cent that you are worth. But Les Lavin, why do I ask if you to review the Civil War films from film Gods and Generals? Did I mention the director's cut is nearly 5 hours long? Holy shit! I could cram that in 20 minutes. Dear God, that's a summer of Gods and Generals. Just spend the whole summer reviewing one movie.
Yeah. Also, someone brought up something. They brought up the 3 in the comment section. Let me go back and find it so I can.
3 Ninjas.
Give the action. Oh yeah. Michael Bermudez says, "Creepy, you and Deck should review the 3 Ninjas, the 3 Ninja movies." And then someone asked, Dakota Wheatley says, "Was Hulk Hogan in one of the 3 Ninjas movies?" He was in the 4th one, 3 Ninjas, High Noon at Mega Mountain.
There were 4 3 Ninja movies?
There were 4 3 Ninja movies. 3 Ninjas Kick Back, 3 Ninjas Knuckle Up, and then 3 Ninjas High Noon at Mega Mountain.
I only knew about Ninjas and Kickback.
Yeah. You want to hear the funny thing, though?
Surf Ninjas, says Teddy Rubskin.
3 Ninjas Knuckle Up was filmed and put together before 3 Ninjas Kick Back. But it was such a bad... Like, they knew this movie stunk.
I'm just thinking, like, if we ever do actually make a movie, I want to have a bit of a 3 Ninjas reference where I have my Switch, and I'm trying to fight things with the Switch, and it's obviously not working. I just get the shit kicked out of me.
You're thinking of Surf Ninjas.
Close enough! The damn kid ninjas!
Actually, there were like the ninjas in Surf Ninjas were the bad guys. The heroes were not ninjas, but the heroes were the ones who did the surfing.
Oh, I think the restream chat is actually functioning again. There were a whole bunch of messages from Twitch that it showed, and then it said, actually, we screwed up, and it stopped. Okay, now it's actually showing time right. Good. That makes me happy. That means we can get on to another lovely, lovely piece of news. Now there was,
and then not talk about Three Ninjas.
Yes, absolutely.
For a while.
Now this is something. There was a talk of the Terminator stuff just a second ago, so let me send you this particular little article. It is relevant to what we were discussing with our mouthpieces. Both Wine on Twitch says he can see us again. Hi, chat.
And it will be loading for forever. Loading truly deeply.
Oh God! Creed Nation dropped $2 and said the sequel Gettysburg. I assume the sequel to the Civil War movie, Gods and Generals. Gettysburg is only 4 hours long. I remember when I had to watch 11 and a half hours of Apes. That was something itself. There was a hell of a lot of summarization going on in that series, in that review of that series, though, because it really was just kind of
pretty much.
Like I remember that there were several episodes that I just summed up in a sentence, because after the first two episodes, that was it. The whole story, the arc of what they were trying to accomplish with their time in the Planet of the Apes to try and find their way back home, it just, like, no progress was made. Nothing. First was the cartoon series, which actually did have some... It was something that you could binge.
Mm-hmm.
It made watching the cartoon series Return to the Planet of the Apes... was it Return? No, Return was a... No, was it Return? It might have been Return. The cartoon series, The Planet of the Apes.
Yes, it was Return to the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, it was much, much more watchable than in one giant chunk versus the live-action series.
Also, did you get the super chat, Decker?
No. Let me scroll up. Was that the Gettysburg one, or was there another one?
Creed Nation dropped $1.99.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about with the 4 hours there, and went into that tirade about 11 hours of apes.
Yeah, you cut out for a few minutes for me. So I was like, I wasn't sure if you had or not. So I was just double checking. Anyway, this article you sent to me because you want me to read it because you want me to actually do stuff on the show. Okay. Although audiences, and the minute I start talking, you try and talk over me.
Sorry, it's just when it showed up, it was actually showing me the YouTube page. I was like,
Well, now you tell me. Although audiences obviously felt bummed by the last few Terminator movies, I had thought the return of James Cameron, not to mention Linda Hamilton, would have brought fans back for Terminator Dark Fate. While the film did receive the best reviews of the franchise since Terminator 2 Judgment Day, it quickly turned into a box office failure and has only grossed $235 million worldwide today. What's a failure then? What would you?
It cost a hell of a lot to make this thing. They were betting a lot on this movie, and it did not. It did well enough. It just didn't, do that damn well.
Yeah. Still, I'm just like,
Hi.
I'm just like, that is just. Anyway. During an interview with THR's Kim Masters, Terminator Dark Fate director Tim Miller opened up regarding his feelings of the box office failure of the sequel. I'm sure we could write a book on why it didn't work, Miller said. I'm still not sure, and I'm processing, but I'm very proud of the movie. While reading reactions to the film, Miller said, The things that they seem to hate the most about the movie were the things I can't control. I can't control you didn't like Genesis or you felt betrayed by Terminator 4. I can't help that. Miller also commented on the creative battles.
That reminds me a little bit of a thing that Razorfist said not too long ago, and that is in repeating something he said a while longer ago. But it's just one of the worst things. The only thing worse than a bad movie that nobody watches is a bad movie that everybody watches. Because that's kind of the thing. It's like Dark Fate could be great. I don't know yet. Haven't seen it. But yeah, Genesis and Salvation. Those Terminator 4. It's like, yeah, people did go to see those because they were like, oh boy, Terminator, and then they walked out like, oh, I just watched Terminator 4. Yay. So yeah, that's why they didn't bother to go see Dark Fate a lot of times.
Miller also commented on the creative battles he had with James Cameron over Terminator Dark Fate. Even though Jim is a producer and David Ellison is a producer, and they technically have Final Cut and Ultimate Power, my name is still on as director. Even if I'm going to lose the fight, I still feel this obligation to fight because that is what the director is supposed to be. Fight for the movie. Supposed to do. Fight for the movie. Due to the lack of creative control, Tim Miller acknowledged that he likely won't work with James Cameron again in the future. I can say no, but it has nothing to do with whatever trauma I have from the experience, Miller said. It's more that I just don't want to be in a situation again where I don't have the control to do what I think is right. That said, Miller added that he still has a good relationship with Cameron. I just got an email last week from Jim who said, I know we clashed a bit. I put it all down to two strong creative people with differences of opinion, and I think it made the movie better. I'll be back in LA in December. Let's go get a beer, Miller said.
It's Miller time.
It's Miller time. Terminator Dark Fate is still playing in theaters. Be sure to check out a review from our own Jimmy O and Chris Bumray, as opposed to going to see the movie.
That's okay. Okay.
Anyway,
we also got a $1.99 super chat from Peter Version. Peter Version 1. That I can read. Decker, please do a Summer of Puppet Master. That has been a request, I think, since I started the channel. Like, since before I did the first summer special. I think the first comment ever was like, Summer of Puppet Master, do it! At least that's how it's going in my brain. Oh, boy. So, yeah. I still haven't seen Dark Fate. The chat seems to be kind of back and forth. Ken maybe is saying, dude, The Room was better than Dark Fate. And yeah. When I mentioned that James Rolfe had pleasant things to say about Dark Fate, comments came up like, yeah, James Rolfe is kind of hit and miss sometimes. So, yeah. But I still haven't seen it my damn self, so I don't know. That's the problem. Dark Fate kills John Connor in the first 5 minutes. Okay, that is pretty shitty. That's pretty shitty right there. It's also kind of spoilery, but it's in the first 5 minutes, so is that really too spoilery, I guess? I don't know.
I had to sign out of YouTube and close the browser because you were cutting out really bad. I don't think you can handle the Discord stream and all the messages coming in through YouTube at the same time, at least not right now. But then again, there's been some problems with the connection. Decker knows all about this, but there's been some, the internet in...
Damn you, squirrel!
Yes, the internet in this area has been pretty bad lately, so...
Damn you bottles that don't have unlimited liquid!
So you're saying you want an unlimited beer?
Yeah, who doesn't? Just fucking drip that into my veins.
I don't drink beer. I don't like the taste of it, so that's me.
Butt chug it. Butt chug.
No.
Just take a beer enema, creepy.
How is it?
I love that we've ended up in a conversation where I'm trying to put things in your ass. And you're like, no.
How is it that I'm the weird one again?
Booch Boop. Booch Boop. I'm not drunk. I'm not slurring. His name is Boojbw. How do you pronounce that? He asks, when's the next drinking challenge?
We're talking about doing that in
January-ish.
In January, yeah. Like we have. I can pull up the dates right now. Give me just a second. Let's see.
But yeah, we're
the next Live and Wired. The next Live and Wired is on the 21st.
Live and Wired beer. That would be awesome. We should sell beer. I can get a brewing setup in here. I can make Live and Wired beer.
And now I am imagining Decker trying to set up his own distillery and his house explodes.
I got a plenty of room. I could build a different building on this land that can then explode and we can rebuild.
I have been around you for way too long. That actually sounded like the better idea.
Oh, boy.
I am deeply worried for myself.
Lizard's Review says, my idea! He's like, yes, he's the one who on Twitch said Live and Wired beer.
True. But yeah, the next Live and Wired is the 21st.
Oh,
the first Live and
Booch
Wired
Boo says
January.
Lime and Wired.
Live and Wired. True.
Live and Hammered.
That could be the different draft names. Live and Hammered, Lime and Wired.
Ravager 48 says Live and Wired energy drink. Well, then we probably get sued by Pepsi because they got their Mountain Dew Live Wire.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, but like in January, the first Live and Wired will be on the 4th, and then there again the 18th. So we will probably do the next Stephen King drinking game on either the 11th or the 25th. I vote for the 11th right now.
Yeah, I like that idea.
The movie that I would like for us to review is The Langoliers.
Let's see. Raquel M. Jackson says maybe do a drinking game with a bad movie. Well, we've been doing the Stephen King drinking game, specifically with Stephen King movies and Stephen King adaptations. I've been reading but not The Shining. I've been reading It.
Mm-hmm.
Why did no one warn me that Stephen King fucking writes like that?
I thought you knew. How could you not know?
I mean, I've read novels before from several people. I've never read a Stephen King novel before, so I'm sitting here with my Stephen King book and I'm trying to read it, and in the meantime, he's there flexing his vocabulary on me, and is like, she didn't just hate this, she abominated it. And I'm reading that to Charlie, I'm like, yeah, abominated. And she's like, abominated? I'm like, yeah, abominated. It says right there, abominated. Lone Dragon says, Stephen King's doing drugs!
Actually, yes.
Oh yeah, that he was when he was writing It. He was on cocaine, right?
He was very, very much so. He was stoned out of his mind when he wrote.
Also, we got a couple of super chats. Motorcycle US dropped $5 saying, "Since you grew up in the woods, wouldn't shine be more your style, Decker? You could also use it instead of gas." That is true, except when it comes to hard liquor, for some reason, I don't know what's wrong with me, but I get to this point with hard liquor where I stop feeling it, like, very soon. Like, not after, like, if it's the first time in a while I've been drinking and I'm drinking hard liquor, I'm going to be drunk as shit. But if it's, like, day 3 and I'm doing shots, on day 3, I stop feeling it. And I'm having to take, like, 5 times as much to get a buzz. But the next day, I still get really fucking hungover from it, because I did take in all that alcohol, and it is going to dry me out and get me dehydrated and all kinds of problems. So I don't really care for liquor so much. I much prefer beer. Beer is something where I can have it, have a nice little time, and that's it. And if I want to do it the next day or the next week, it's going to be about the same. I don't have to worry about, okay, now I'm not feeling it anymore, and this is getting really expensive, and I'm having horrible hangovers. That's just me. Tim also dropped $5 saying, love your videos. One of my all-time favorites is his Serpent and the Rainbow. I couldn't find a video of yours about it. You should review it. That's actually one I had on a DVD a long time ago when I was, like, season 1, when I was buying up a bunch of cheap compilation DVDs to have as many movies for as low of a price as possible. The Serpent and the Rainbow was actually one of them on one of the discs, and I never reviewed it. So now I'm feeling like, damn, I gotta do that. There has been one person who has brought it up, so never mind all of the little talks about, I'm trying to think of something else that I've been requested to do a whole bunch of times, like the Summer of Puppet Master. Never mind that. We got to track down the Serpent and the Rainbow. Corey2000 says, when directing Maximum Overdrive, he was on drugs. Yet, Sleepwalkers seems more crazy.
Yeah. I have heard people say that. They've said that as crazy as Stephen King's writing was, like when he was coked out of his gourd, his writing was actually overall more coherent than when he went stone sober and stopped drinking and doing drugs. Did Stephen King ever give a reason for why he did drugs? I've heard some people say that he had trouble coping with success once it happened. Like, he was literally a rags to riches story where he wrote one book and it made he and his family rich. But I've heard some people say that the reason he did drugs afterwards was because he was just so, he had such anxiety about and depression about staying successful that he turned it to, because he thought that actually helped.
I don't know. We don't have Stephen King as a guest on this show yet. We really should. And every time he talks, we got to drink.
Yeah, that's true.
Just have the Stephen King drinking game, not to any particular Stephen King work or adaptation, but to have him as a guest, just fielding comments. Whenever he does something that matches with the Stephen King drinking game, we got to drink. We just got to be ready for it. Anything at all. If he says anything racist, drink. Hey, he's gonna have to think that's a much nicer way of dealing with it if he says anything racist in an interview. It's just, hey, you did that, drink, and then move on. Oh well. So, next, this seems to have stopped dead. Let's find some more news.
Let's do that.
Okay. Alright, so this is semi-interesting, and it still has something to do with the title card, so... Okay, thank you, ads. Go... Oh, okay. Pumpkinhead remake still being planned, with exciting news coming soon, producer teases. So, remake. Okay, that's a slightly better plan. I don't really care for remakes too much, but at the same time, this would mean starting over, so a potential sequel that takes it in a more of a direction of the first one. I don't know. I'm thinking, I'd prefer a sequel to the original Pumpkinhead that ignores all the other sequels, rather than remaking the first one. Because the first one's fine. You don't need to remake it. But,
right.
Okay. As you may recall, it was reported back in 2016 that Saw producer Peter Block was behind a remake of 1988 Stan Winston-directed creature classic Pumpkinhead, the first in a 4-film franchise that has only continued in the world of comics in recent years. What's the latest on the project? Speaking with Rue Morgue, Block suggests exciting news is coming soon. We have some exciting news that I'm not allowed to share yet, but that should be making it that way soon. Block told Rue Morgue, Michael Gingold last week. He continued, Pumpkinhead is a movie I just love, and while the original Pumpkinhead is a great movie, I think that there is more that can be done with that idea. Okay, he's gonna fuck it up. Sometimes I loathe remakes and reboots because I don't see the reason for them, but Pumpkinhead is one of those where I believe that the story and the themes of it are so good, but there's also a way of updating it where less focus is on the creature in the beginning. Where less focus on the creature in the beginning will add a lot to the suspense. What? Lance Henriksen starred in the original film as Ed Harley, a grieving father who conjures up the titular monster in an effort to kill those who took his young son from him. In the wake of the original film, the Pumpkinhead franchise only managed to spawn sequels that went direct to video/television, which means we've been waiting for the Vengeance Demon's return to the big screen for over 30 years now. While you continue waiting, be sure to check out the recent 5-issue comic series from Dynamite Entertainment and Cullen Bunn. Boom. Yep, Pumpkinhead. That's him. His head's kind of like a pumpkin. It's amazing. Right. So, yeah, Pumpkinhead remake. I'm not totally against it, but I'm not entirely... What's the difference between a remake and a reboot? Asks Motorcycle US. As critics, what is the difference between a remake and a reboot?
I'm not sure myself.
Because remakes tend to change things around anyway. The point of a reboot is more to just say, okay, I guess with a remake you could say that the later stuff still happened, or a reboot is more in terms of, okay, we are starting the fuck over. All that's from that timeline, this is a new timeline. I don't know. But it's like with the Nightmare on Elm Street remake was more of a reboot because Nightmare on Elm Street 2 does not logically follow Nightmare on Elm Street remake. But then again, neither did it follow the original too well. Maybe it's not a good example.
Pumpkinhead was just a movie that kind of was like, I found it weird more than anything. You know, I was just like, why is it called Pumpkinhead? The head really doesn't resemble a pumpkin that much. It looks like a xenomorph whose artist got lost somewhere.
Punch my pop filter. That's not good.
Oh dear.
Jack Brand says, The Legend of Cokehead. The hysterical man grinds his jaw while scarring the local kids with his constant babbling.
You just described an insane homeless person.
That's me!
Not
That's sad. But
who
true.
Was it in the comments section? Did they described you as a hobo?
I don't know if that happened in any comments. I just remember I started trimming my goatee when Charlie also was saying that I started looking like a homeless person.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, man, I don't want everyone to look at me and be like, hey, that guy sleeps under a bridge, don't he? Creepy, do you sleep under a bridge?
No.
Have you ever slept under a bridge?
Yes, when I was in Japan with you.
Yeah, that's true. We did. Yeah. But was it by choice?
No.
Okay. Creed Nation dropped $1.99 saying just do a summer special with Civil War films. Oh, God. Yeah. Gods and Generals and Gettysburg. That right there is a good 9 hours of movie.
Let's see. You've gotten requests to do more superhero movies. You've gotten a request to do the Puppet Master movies, and now this. At least you know that you'll be working during the summer.
Oh, yeah. Abraham Lincoln versus Zombies. I remember Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, which I liked more than a lot of people did at the time. I don't understand what people were expecting to get out of it. I mean, it was semi-historical, mostly fantastical. Abraham Lincoln has a silver-coated axe that he uses to chop vampire heads off. Like, that's fine. The CGI running across the herd and the train and the weird 3D things, kind of shitty. But the concept I liked. Motorcycle US says OTH Decker, or on the other hand, or I guess, random people might hand you money. That'd be nice. That's pretty much what I do right now anyway. So,
and hey, it's warm in here.
Yeah. Oh god, the cold of the night. I forgot how cold it gets at night. You remember that real quick when you're sleeping on the street.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Vampire Slayer. Oh god. Mothman says, hey guy, I don't like your movie. I'm gonna have to review that at some point. Sorry about it. I like your legend. Really don't like the movie. Creed Nation dropped $5 saying Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. Oh hell no. Yeah, that's kind of the consensus that most people had about the movie. I kind of liked it. It's about Abraham Lincoln killing vampires. I mean, it was a little historically inaccurate. I mean, he's there with his black friends, like, I'm Abraham Lincoln. I like black people. When the actual Abraham Lincoln was actually pretty fucking racist, but Oh well. News. We have news. This is a sad thing, and I think it's so sad that Creepy needs to read it. I want to torture you most of all. Okay.
All right.
Torture with what? Just a little news article that we're all going to be shared very nicely. Also, we got 2 super chats. Jack Brand dropped $5 saying Ted Bundy, Vampire Hunter. See, all those young girls and women he killed were really vampires. That's why he chopped some of their heads off. Oh, that is dark.
That's just disturbing. No.
Oh god.
What was the next super chat? Moving on.
Canadian Bon B Bunkers dropped £2 saying, I love your videos. I love cocaine. Okay. You want some fucking cocaine? You know the dinosaur? It's Dino Semba. It's time to bring out the dinosaur that loves cocaine.
Anyway, on to the article.
God damn it. You want some fucking cocaine?
Not really.
Damn it.
It looks like Godzilla is going to take a bit more time to return to theaters. A brand new report has gone out about the monster's next film, Godzilla vs. Kong. The film will pit the huge kaiju against King Kong at last. Except that they already did that. But the movie will no longer debut in March 2020. According to a piece by The Wrap, the flick has been delayed to a November 2020 release date, taking the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man approach, I see. According to the report, multiple insiders informed The Wrap about the delay. Godzilla vs. Kong is now expected to go live on November 11th, 2020. You already just told us that. The delay will push the film back nearly 8 months from its original release date at March 13th, 2020. We can do math!
Okay, I see they have like only one sentence worth of news, and they're trying desperately to stretch it out into a full article.
Yeah! It's like, oh man, I feel so bad for whoever got stuck with this one. This is not the first date change for Godzilla. Oh, good. We get to read a new sentence 4 more times. This is not the first date change for Godzilla vs. Kong. The movie was originally slated by Warner Brothers Pictures to debut in May 2020. It was moved to March 2020 earlier this year. We know that! and filming was completed on the feature shortly thereafter. At this point, there are no hard details about the sequel's latest delay. What a shock! But fans of the franchise are not surprised. Neither are we at this point, seeing as how you've told us this every paragraph. If the film was slated to debut in March, fans expected to have seen a teaser by now. This delay has answered the question netizens had about where the Godzilla vs. Kong promo could be, but it isn't what they had hoped. Now Godzilla fans will have to wait a bit longer to see the kaiju do things out with King Kong over on Skull Island. Doctor, my head. Are you surprised by this release update? I won't dignify that with a response. Let me know in the comments or hit me up. I would like to do the first part of that at this point. Oh, Megan Peters CV to talk all things comic and anime. And really, that's the end of the article. We're not going through this again.
We just had one sentence of news.
That was all this article was, which is the same sentence over and over again. There's been a delay. That's all they know.
Okay, Coleslaw Slaw says, random question, is the new Mortal Kombat movie coming 2020 or 2021? I can't remember any news about there being a new Mortal Kombat movie. There's a new Mortal Kombat movie? Like, is this another one of Nightwolf's crazy tests?
Raquel M. Jackson said, that article was terrible. It was.
Yes. So you get to another one. Another beautiful. Oh, this is a sad one. I'm gonna do the sadness. Netflix won't back a new season of Mystery Science Theater 3000. If the show goes on, it will be somewhere else. Okay, this is confusing the hell out of me. I mean, to be fair, I kind of stopped watching it after it hit the Sci-Fi Channel. But damn, things changed, didn't they? After Mystery Science Theater 3000 made its comeback via crowdfunding, Netflix backed a second season of the show's return that arrived around this time last year. Unfortunately, their partnership will apparently end there, as host Jonah Ray announced via Twitter that the streamer decided against doing another season. Of course, as he notes, the show always figured out how to survive, and series creator Joel Hodgson said it's not the end of MST3K, it's just the end of the first chapter of bringing back MST3K. With a proven capability to raise millions on Kickstarter and new streaming outlets opening every week, the possibility of new episodes is wide open. For now, fans can look forward to the annual Turkey Day Marathon with 6 classic episodes starting at noon Eastern Time on Thursday. So we got the tweets of that, and yeah. It is sadness. It is sadness that Mystery Science Theater 3000 is evidently canceled again after being brought back. But hey, 2 seasons. I grew up on Mystery Science Theater 3000. Can you tell?
It is one of my favorite shows, and to be honest with you, this just makes me very, very just sad. Damn it. Oh well.
Patrick Johnson says, I have no attachment to Mystery Science Theater 3000, so I feel nothing. I started on the show when it still had Joel Hodgson as the guy.
Right.
At the time, of course, he didn't go by the name of Joel Hodgson in the show. He had the much more easier to pronounce name, Joel Robinson.
Right.
But then, after he left to do other things, specifically the TV Wheel, it was this idea of kind of a sketch comedy thing experiment he did. I don't know if it ever had more than one episode, honestly. That's all I watched of it. But after he left to do that, Mike, who was already a writer for like the whole time on Mystery Science Theater 3000, took over as host. And I watched that for quite a while, up until it went to the Sci-Fi Channel. Then I was like, I don't know anymore. I don't know. You know, you lost Dr. Forrester, you lost this, you lost that, and you got all these other things going on. Never mind. But, oh well. Timothy Gordon also dropped 50 Canadian dollars as a tip. There is no comment associated. So, thank you, Timothy.
Thank you very much. I did watch the seasons with Joel in it, but I prefer Mike a little bit better. He just has this slightly more sarcastic edge to his voice that I feel like works with the format. Joel just seemed more like put upon nice guy.
Mm.
You know, Mike was more like, yeah, this sucks.
Lone Dragon says $50 Canadian. That's got to be what, like $5 American? I don't know. There are times when the Canadian dollar. There have been times like during the 2008 recession. I think there was a point where the Canadian dollar was actually worth more than the U.S. dollar. Mm-hmm. But for some reason, everything that costs like 15% more in Canada still cost 15% more. And it's like, that's not very fair. How is it? It was like I think like the PlayStation 3 was, you know, $599 US dollars, but it was like 650 Canadian. And then when the US dollar was worth less than the Canadian dollar for a bit, it still costs more Canadian dollars to buy a PlayStation than it did US dollars. Maple syrup and snow's what they export. Fucking yay, maple syrup, yeah! Love that. Maple Grove Farms all the way. That's Vermont. Oh well. Okay. I'll watch the sci-fi version of it. Well, I'm sure it was still what it, but it's kind of just how I watch movies. I learned from Mystery Science Theater 3000. It's kind of funny because like when Charlie and I sit down to watch a movie, I will just riff on it as we watch it. And she's like, "Would you stop that? You don't have to review this one." And I'm like, it's just how I watch movies. It's just what I do. Oh boy. Brought up the recession and everything's going into politics. Let's find some topic to talk about. Hey, everyone. Six Flags New England is going to pay $600 if you want to spend 30 hours inside of a coffin. Or rather, if you do it, not just want to. Let's see. I'm gonna send this to you, Creepy.
Alrighty then.
Okay. So, managed to watch parts of Rift Tracks. Rift Tracks. That was fun. I think Rift Tracks is still going. I think that's,
I want to say it is, yeah.
It's kind of their business model right now.
Would you spend 30 hours in a coffin for $600?
Would you disable your ad blocker? No.
No. And there's the reason why. Because if I disable it, ads pop up. Challenge returns to Six Flags New England in October. Okay. Editor's note. Kenny Sanders from East Hartford, Connecticut, won the 30-hour coffin challenge last month. He beat 5 competitors that traveled to Six Flags New England from across the Northeast. Scroll to the bottom to see the Facebook Live from the finale. Six Flags New England is again asking thrill seekers to spend 30 hours in a coffin this Halloween season.
What a thrill.
The 30-hour coffin challenge is back for the second consecutive year. The life-size coffin will be open above the shoulder, and contestants will have bathroom breaks and meal breaks.
Well, that's not very hard.
I was gonna say that was the first two things that I thought of. Like, Do you like? What about when you have to pee or eat? You know, and like seems like that's going to be a problem, but apparently not. Registration to compete the challenge will begin September 3rd.
23rd.
And again, here we have another case where the news. For more information regarding registration can be found here. All applicants must be at least 18 years old. The competition will take place on October 12th and 13th. Damn, are we behind on this one? If claustrophobia isn't scary enough, in year 2 of the challenge, Six Flags has added a Wheel of Fright. The new aspect could include added challenges such as being blindfolded, eating insects, holding a snake, and more. The field of 6 will be whittled down throughout the challenges based on time. The competitor that emerges victorious will capture a $600 prize. Every participant will receive a pair of 2020 Gold Season Passes, a pair of 2019 Haunted House Passes, and a pair of passes to Skip a Ride line. Okay. In 2018, several hundred people entered to participate, said Jennifer McGrath, communications manager at Six Flags New England. Of the 6 chosen, all completed the challenge.
Yeah, it really doesn't sound that hard.
I mean, not if you get bathroom breaks and meals. So, I mean, it's a free meal from the sound of things. So, what exactly is the hard part? Each received $300 cash, to 2019 Six Flags Gold Season Passes, to 2019 Dining Season Passes, to Fright Fest passes for the haunted houses, and the coffin they each spent more than a day within. Okay, and that's it. So
cool.
There we go.
So yeah. Motorcycle US also dropped $5, saying, Decker, due to climate change and deforestation, maples are no longer allowed to be tapped for syrup. I'm just going to hang out in a coffin and get a bunch of money, and I can just make my own maple farm. Ha! I got acres. I can make maple. I mean, I don't got, like, seasons to actually get the syrup to work, but I've got land. Ha! Slingblade Sally says it sounds like the ultimate mom's break, especially if you like snakes and bugs.
Right.
And it's like, being blindfolded is like, peace and quiet. Finally, I can rest my eyes. Oh, it's a beautiful little snake. Ooh, it's a beauty snake. You know? It's like, hold a snake. That's not a punishment. That's a petting zoo. And the cat says, I'm like, so 30 hours doing nothing. I like this. Let's do it. That's
Hey,
it.
Decker! I could just imagine the two of us there. Hey, Decker! Knock, knock. You okay? Yeah, fine.
Godzilla Productions TV says, what happens if you die in the coffin? Do they leave you in there? Eddie Hurt is asking, where's Patricia?
That's a popular question tonight.
I hope she's doing the coffin challenge. Because,
right.
Money. Free coffin, but I want cremation. Oh, God. Oh, boy. Also, Wayne Messner says Motorcycle US is incorrect. I assume about the maple syrup thing. No, you have to hold a trouser snake. Oh, God, Adam Fink, no. Fujisaur says, you die in the coffin and I think you're just a really good actor. Peter version 1 dropped $5 saying Lana from WWE was asked to play Sonya in the new MK film. And will you ever review Sleepers? Also, Decker, your hair looks bad and Creepy's looks neat. God,
it is official. I have the best hair.
TK2236 is going for a nap on Twitch. Laters. Thank you for joining. Okay. And Lizard's Review says it's on Twitter at #KeepBingingGargoyles. Okay, what was he talking about there? Something about gargoyles. Gargoyles being binged on Twitch. Okay, so. Still have much news, and more stuff. Oh, boy.
You don't need to repeat yourself.
Yes, do, need. Do.
You sound like Max Headroom.
Oh, boy. Now, we have a little bit of... This is movie news that just sounds, like, weird to me, and I'm like, but why? If it'll load, there we go. Bloop. So, yes, you already loaded. Thank you. Go away. Okay.
Woohoo.
Elizabeth Banks to direct star in Invisible Woman for Universal. Elizabeth Banks is set to direct and star in Invisible Woman for Universal, which is based on her own original pitch. The Girl and the Trained Scribe, Erin Crescinda Wilson, penned the script with Banks and Max Handelman producing for their Brownstone Productions. Brownstone's Alison Small will executive produce. Plot details are being kept under wraps, but sources say Banks' pitch is very different from the Invisible Man film coming out in February that stars Elizabeth Moss, and there is no crossover potential in either film. So we got an Invisible Man film that stars a woman that's a reboot something of Invisible Man, and we also have another movie called Invisible Woman that's very different. I'm confused. The news follows the announcement that Rocketman director Dexter Fletcher is helming Renfield, which is a new take on Dracula's henchman, and like Invisible Woman, fits into a new strategy Universal is taking when it comes to its IP. The studio has originally planned on creating an interconnected universe with its vast catalog of monster IP. However, the studio reassessed and decided to move forward with filmmaker-driven projects based on the monsters' legacies, focusing on what made the characters endure over time. Instead of prescribing a mandate that the films be part of a larger scheme, Universal loosened these restrictions and open sourced to filmmakers to create their own unique stories. As for Banks, the multi-hyphenate has strong ties to the studio after directing Pitch Perfect 2. She most recently directed the Charlie's Angels reboot for Sony, in which she also appears as one of the Bosleys. Okay, that went wonderfully too, didn't it? Banks and Brownstone Productions are represented by UTA, United, Untitled Entertainment, Relevant, and Ziffer and Brenner Wilson. Okay, everyone represents people. Okay, good. Bye. No, go away. Help.
Are you going to be okay?
Yeah, also, Peter, version 1, dropped $2 asking, Creepy, where is the Darkwing Duck retrospective?
It's going to be after the DuckTales retrospective. I'm not going to try and do both of those at the same time. Plus, I always, in my headcanon, Darkwing Duck doesn't just come after DuckTales in the sense that one was made after the other, but I always assumed that Darkwing Duck canonically took place at least a couple of years after DuckTales ended, since Launchpad is in both shows, and since Launchpad was on a farm when he and Darkwing first met, I was like, okay, well, he must have either quit working for Scrooge, was finally fired, which seems like the most illogical thing to have happened, or he was visiting a friend / relatives and, sent a message saying that he was going to be in St. Canard for an undetermined amount of time once he became Darkwing's sidekick. So, although I have heard the creator of Darkwing Duck say that the shows exist in two different universes and that it's like not the same Launchpad. It's a Launchpad from another universe, and I'm just like, that just seems needlessly complicated. And also, there was an episode where there were several episodes where Gizmo Duck debuted, who started off in DuckTales, and they even referenced the fact that Fenton Crackshell, Gizmo Duck's secret identity, civilian identity, they referenced the fact that he and Launchpad both know each other and worked for the same guy. So I'm like, Yeah, you might feel that way, but I don't think anyone else does.
Yeah. But about that invisible woman, I'm really confused. Like, why is
You
this
confused?
necessary? I would say, why? Who is saying, you know what, there's not enough representation in invisible people? I mean, there's nothing wrong with the idea of the invisible. Someone who is invisible can be female, but it is a very concerning thing if that seems to be the angle you're going with, and you're saying to everyone that this makes a huge difference, and it's like, no, it doesn't. No, what do you bring to the fucking table? Because her genitals are not one of them. Why do I need to watch this movie? Because it's got a leading actress is not a good reason. I don't care what the gender of the person playing the role is. What is the story? That's just me. Kat says, unless it's about women who are never noticed and how they are some criminal mafia gangster units, just why? Or Assassin Ninjas or
Why?
Agent 47. I could imagine Agent 47 as a woman. Mainly because he just strangles one and takes her skin and Buffalo Bills it up. But, I mean, he's Agent 47. He when you're trying to get in a costume, just taking their bikini and putting it on isn't really going to work out quite so well. Actually, it works out really well for him, not come to think of it. Agent 47 can rock any outfit. I don't know why. I don't understand it, but I know it is true.
I don't care what you claim happened, Decker. That did not work out for you.
God damn it. Oh, this is good news. Good news. The happiest news I have heard about in a long time. And I'm going to drink to it. So here's... What the fuck? No. What? No, stop. I went away from the page for a second, and then you're pulling a fucking... Stop! Yeah, I know Xbox Game Pass is on PC. So, yeah, this is why ad block is a thing.
So, we have some fairly big news. There we go.
Okay.
We have some fairly big news right now. The Simpsons composer Danny Elfman claims the show is ending. For as long as most people can remember, The Simpsons has been a part of their Sunday night routine. Seriously, this show has been around longer than a lot of people have been alive. The Simpsons began in 1989. Yes, it actually did. It did not start in early 1990. The first episode was a Christmas special. So yeah.
Yeah, that was it. That introduced Santa's Little Helper.
Right. Okay. The Simpsons began in 1989 and is now in its 31st season. But is that legendary run about to be over? Although the show is still performing well, theme composer Danny Elfman has apparently heard that the show is ending.
Article's not on the screen. Just so.
Oh. It is now. Or it should be. Decker? Hello? Anyway. Although the show is still performing well, theme composer Danny Elfman has apparently heard that the show is ending in the next year. While speaking to Joe about his career, the subject of The Simpsons came up, and Elfman was asked about the debate surrounding the show's quality in the later seasons. What quality? He answered that question by basically saying it doesn't matter because the show is on its last leg. Well, from what I've heard, it's coming to an end, Elfman said. So that argument will also come to an end. I don't know for a fact, but I've heard that it will be in its last year. It will certainly be shocking to see The Simpsons end after this year for a number of reasons. First and foremost, after more than 3 decades on the air, it's become a staple of network television. There's also the renewal of the series to consider. Back in February, The Simpsons was renewed for 2 additional seasons, which will take it through season 32, which will conclude in 2021. This means the contracts of the cast has been extended through that time as well. Maybe Elfman meant that The Simpsons will be ending after next year. Regardless, he didn't think it, for 1 second it would have the kind of life that it has had at this point. All I can say is that I'm so flabbergasted and amazed that it has lasted as long as it did. So you have to realize, when I scored The Simpsons, I wrote this crazy piece of music, and I expected no one would hear it because I really did not think the show had a chance in hell. Really, I expected it would run for 3 episodes and get canceled, and that would be that because it was so weird at the time, and I just didn't think it had a chance. So believe me, that is one of the truly big surprises of my life. Do you think The Simpsons is actually on the verge of ending? Will you be sad to see it go? Let us know in the comments.
The Simpsons. The end of The Simpsons.
I mean, like, I'm one of those people who enjoyed.
I love The Simpsons. Like,
Yeah.
growing up, being young, watching The Simpsons, I enjoyed a lot of it, and then it just. I feel like the wife in Mrs. Doubtfire. After a while, the jokes just stop being funny.
Yeah, it's like I consider, like, after about season 8 to be when the show started to really go downhill in quality.
Yeah, I remember.
Even up to
right.
season 12 or 13, there's still 1, maybe 2 episodes with there
They have the
of each
moments.
season that I can watch. I just it's like I don't have fond memories about whole season, after about season 8, But I did. I remember the big deal with Who Shot Mr. Burns.
Oh yeah, that was a big fucking thing.
That was a big thing. They had I am not shitting you. They had an America's Most Wanted special. They had an America. They had a.
That's a hell of a crossover.
Of America's Most Wanted, where they went over the evidence of the first of part 1 of that 2-parter. And we're like bringing up all these different conclusions about who could have shot Mr. Burns.
Trying to think. There's. Fuck. I'm sorry. I remembered this thing earlier, and then you were in the middle of talking. I'm like, don't interrupt this ass. You do that too much already. And now I forgot what I was talking about, but I remembered it. There was a compilation of, like, funniest moments of Johnny Tightlips on YouTube. Saw that little video recommended to me. I'm like, Johnny Tightlips. I remember Johnny Tightlips on The Simpsons. That could be interesting. And I watched it. It was pretty much just every single instance that Johnny Tightlips was ever on the show. And when you go in the comments, it was just beautiful because there were people saying you could tell what it's from because as the animation quality improves, the jokes get worse and worse.
Yeah, it's like the seasons.
Johnny Tightlips. I just want to say he's not a difficult character to write. He is a joke. He's got one job. It's to say, I ain't saying nothing. Like you give him any kind of question, and he's like, maybe I know, maybe I don't, whatever. And that's the joke of Johnny Tightlips. And then as you go further and further in the little compilation, there's this part where he's not doing that anymore for some reason. It's just this weird thing. And then this long spiel where it's like they try and get him back to actually saying nothing. But then it's just, he goes on this long tirade about how he's not going to say anything. And it's like, this isn't the fucking character. What are you doing? Stop. It's not funny anymore. So yeah, you were saying?
I was saying, it does seem like the further along you go, the animation does go up, but it just seems like it's less and less and less funny until finally the animation looks really, really good, but there's not really any particular reason to watch the show anymore because it's just not funny. I Speaking of The Simpsons, however, and Who Shot Mr. Burns, there is a YouTuber named The Real Jim, and Jims, not Jim, as in Jim and the holograms. Jim, Jim,
See
The
you
Real
later.
Jim.
Thank you for joining us.
Right. And he covers episodes of The Simpsons, and he has covered like whole seasons. He's also done theories. He has like 6 or 8 Who Really Shot Mr. Burns videos where he proposes alternative theories as to who could have shot Mr. Burns other than Maggie, of course. And
Spoiler, man! Spoiler!
I don't think saying that is a spoiler because it's been over 20 fucking years. Okay, it's been.
But yeah, it's like the 167th episode spectacular or something, where they had the thing. At that point, everyone was asking who shot Mr. Burns, and then they found out it was the baby.
Then they found out the baby did it. Yeah, and then they explained that they had composed several not whole clips that showed different versions, different people who had shot Mr. Burns, including Santa's little helper was in one of them.
Well, but hell, if Maggie can do it, then fuck you.
Right? Yeah. And then they settled on, they had it down to 2 people, Maggie or Waylon Smithers, and so they edited, so they put together both endings, but the Smithers one was not intended to air. It was always supposed to be Maggie, but Smithers was a red herring, and so to keep everyone quiet about it, they made everyone think that it was Waylon Smithers.
Yeah. There's all the different little clues together, and yeah, they did air the Waylon Smithers ending, which I think actually made more sense personally. Just saying.
Yeah.
That's right, I did. Right before I shot Jasper. I was busy that night.
I did find that funny, though. I will say that. I did find that. I feel like my problem with it being Smithers is that I feel like it's too easy. Like, making it Smithers does feel a little bit like a cop-out. Mind you, making it Maggie felt a little bit like a cop-out, too, But at the same time, Smithers just seemed like... there's one thing I will say about
there were some
Maggie,
great moments. Some great moments in the whole thing with the episode where he gets shot and all the lead up of everyone being suspected and such. And Homer's like losing his mind because he never refers to Homer by his actual name. He's always like, who is this guy? Who is he? Who is that? Right. And so he made him the chocolates, the box of chocolates with his family picture in it. And he remembered he got everyone. He just didn't eat the one over Homer's face. And he sends a thank you letter to everyone but Homer. And then there's Homer's in Mr. Burns' office, and he's just spray painting on the wall, "My name is Homer Simpson." And Mr. Burns walks in, and he's like, "Who the devil are you?"
My name is Homer Simpson. And then, of course, in part 2, when Burns comes out of his coma, the only thing he can say is Homer Simpson. Until he gets full control of his speech back, and of course he's like, "What is the meaning of this? Smithers, who is this beast that's shaking me?"
That's it. Tell him I didn't shoot you. Before. Oh god. We also got a $5 super chat from Motorcycle US saying, Decker, why haven't there been a hard dealing with honey badgers? The damn things are pretty scary. Also, review the Killer Tomato series. Oh, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. That's been one that's also been a big request for a while.
Right.
Honey badgers. Honey badgers. I just try to avoid them personally. Try. Okay. Also, Bill Cage 32 says that they shot Mr. Burns. And Corey 2000 says, what if everyone shot Mr. Burns? The Globinar is the what says, Creepy shot Mr. Burns.
When I was 13?
Maggie fucking did it! that's just gonna be my that's my I was frozen today. Maggie shot Mr. Burns!
Maggie. Well, hell, if Maggie can shoot Mr. Burns, fine. That'll be Decker's like, this doesn't make any sense. Well, if Maggie can shoot Mr. Burns, bang! Show the clip of the gun going off. You're like, fine.
Oh, boy. So, yeah, we should probably pull up more news. I think we actually spent a good amount of time talking about something that had something to do with the news we read. It's amazing. Oh, yeah, this is something that just confused me. Kind of game news, kind of gaming. Oh, never mind. It's a 404. Okay, there's supposed to be this little article talking about something about a person spent $1.4 million on their game character in something. I'm not sure what. The only thing I can think you could spend that much money on with your character is something like EVE Online or maybe Entropia Universe. And then their friend accidentally sold it for $552. And I'm thinking, like, how do you accidentally sell? Like, how does your friend do that? There are many things I'm wondering, many things I'm questioning, but it's just, I don't know, because it's a 404, page not found. Okay. Newboffer Zog says, high-profile serial killing is a lost art. And Peter Version 1 says, no, it is not. And I'm going to have to say, lost art, good? Like, there was a time when, like, serial killers got, like, they were like rock stars, almost. And we kind of have that right now with mass shooters, which is fucking fucked up. Like, don't make people who do horrible things into celebrities. Don't.
True.
Why the fuck would you ever do that? Oh, Lone Dragon says, Dagger Shadow, remember Mo taking the lie detector? Oh, I remember it perfectly. It's like, did you kill Mr. Burns? No. Okay, let him go. Okay, good, because I got a hot date tonight. Date. Dinner with a friend. Dinner alone. Watch TV alone. Alright! I'm going to sit at home, oogling at the ladies in the Victoria's Secret catalog.
Sears catalog.
Sears catalog. I can't go now! I do not deserve this treatment!
Well, even Mo thinks that he deserves bad things.
Oh, God. I'm Uncle Mo, here I am! Oh, the goddamn Uncle Mo. Jesus, so many great moments in the first 8 seasons of The Simpsons. It's not just like a nice show, fun show to watch. It's a fantastic show.
You remember the episode Camp Krusty? That is still,
God.
to this day, that is still one of my favorite episodes.
They send that message to their parents, like, our nature hikes have become grim death marches. Oh, a snake bit me! Back in line, maggot!
Our arts and crafts class is in reality a sweatshop to make wallets for exports.
they're complaining now, but when we go to pick them up, they won't want to leave. And there's a fucking tornado going through, and this kid's holding on for dear life. Lisa, I've been thinking about it. Next summer, I'm getting a job.
And Bart is like clinging to hope that Krusty will come. He's like rocking back and forth. Krusty is coming. Krusty is coming. Krusty is coming. And then, of course, when Mr. Black announces that he promised them Krusty and he is going to deliver, Bart's like, see, I told you, Krusty's coming. He's going to bring us food and clean clothes and smart enemies.
And it turns out to be Barney dressed as Krusty.
Right, which I think my favorite.
He's not the real Krusty. What are you talking about? Of course he's the real Krusty. Yeah, Bart. I'm Crunchy the Clown.
What do you think? What do you think? I slapped a clown nose on a wino?
I'm Crunchy the Clown.
I think my favorite part.
Oh yeah, Lone Dragon saying, "I've noticed. Of course, we promised you a special treat in lieu of dinner."
I think my favorite part of the episode, though, is when they all just snap and go Lord of the Flies on the place.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So, Decker, you know how you talked about that you missed out on a lot of normal things that kids went through, kids did when you were a child? Yeah. I think you can cross off summer camp as one of those things that you wanted to experience.
I mean, technically, I spent 1 year at summer camp. It was fucking horrible. It was a terrible camp. I got a wolf spider bite under my eye, and my face was like just gore for half of the summer.
That sounds pleasant.
And it was just an absolute fucking just. Ugh. They had. It was not fun, and my mother was like. She said when she got us all back, she was like, she felt terrible for having sent us because she didn't really enjoy the summer herself anyway. Because it's like, what did she do? Well, she went down to the beach and like sat there. Ooh. It's like she didn't have a great summer without the kids around, and we all had terrible summers that she paid for. And she was like, okay, fuck that then.
Lazarus Soul 82 dropped $4.99 and said, when Homer is watching the news about the camp, it says, please don't be the boy. Please don't be the boy.
Oh, instantly regains 50 pounds. And his 2 new hairs just fell off.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I remember getting home from summer camp. Like me, my brother, my older brother, my little brother, we all ran up to our mother. All like, yes! And she's like, what's this all about? And we told her straight out, we are so happy to be out of there. We're so happy to be home.
Yeah. Kat Lunaskaya says, church camp and Sunday school, man. They find out you have creative skills. They make you do a lot of arts and crafts to sell and decorate the school. I have horror stories. I believe that. And here is why. I actually was sent to church camp. Let's see. The church, like when I was in elementary school, they sent all of the children to church camp 1, 2, 3 times. And it was like, okay, I have shown people pictures of this camp, and they have told me to my face, I can hear the Friday the 13th music playing in my head when I look at this place. They are like, they sent you here? Like, as a treat? And I'm like, let's see. They sent it was after 3rd grade, after 4th grade, and after 5th grade. Now after 5th grade, the 3rd time I did not go. I put my foot down. I was like, I'm not going this year. Like I went. We had the most go the first time. They had. It was a smaller group that went the second time. And the 3rd time, they only had 1 kid sign up for it. So, yeah. And back after 8th grade, they sent the youth group this time. And to the same camp. It was just, some weeks were for the younger for children, and other weeks it was for teenagers. So when I was a teenager and the entire youth group went, I was like, I am not falling for this again. I am not going. Everybody came back and they were like, why didn't you go with us? It was so fun. Like, no, they've rebuilt the whole place. They've really, put some money into it and made it look nice. And I'm just like, are we talking about the same place? So yeah.
Okay, Bill Cage 32 says, Decker Shadow, you look like the love child of Rob Zombie and Weird Al Yankovic.
Cat Lunaskaya says, I had to make so many Christmas decorations as a child for the church and the big tree. I had to make stupid paper bags filled with sand and candies for paths. Stupid God's eyes with sticks and yam. It's a miracle I'm an artist now.
Oh, God. Yeah, I was actually asked at Walmart, like, yesterday, hey, didn't anyone ever tell you kind of look like Weird Al Yankovic? And I was like, yes, constantly! So, yeah. Remember Dragon Slayer? Okay, I see a whole bunch of Twitch chat on the Restream chat. I don't know what's the timing of it. It is 20 minutes ago. Damn. Restream chat. Always failing me. Always. Oh well. But we still have more things. Oh wait, we got a $5 super chat from Peter Virgin 1. I feel parents sending their kids to camp shows they are awful parents. I feel bad for you, Creepy. How to burn the place to the ground. I don't necessarily think awful parents like always, because kids are a lot of dang work. And and as an adult, I've been doing I'm thinking like, okay, I want a kid. How am I going to find time for this little son of a bitch?
Yeah. Like, I can believe, like, most parents send their kids to camp, they get like a week or two off from being parents. I know this because whenever the church sent us to summer camp to camp for a week, that week coincided with all of the adults going on a trip up into the Tennessee mountains. So yeah, so while we got sent to camp, they went on vacation. But I will say that I do know why so many people enjoy going to church camp in their teens instead of when they were little kids. The reason for that is simply they were trying to get laid. Yeah, you see, church camp is band camp for fundy kids. It's like basically the same concept. It's just that you're supposed to feel worse about it afterward. Whether or not you do is up for debate.
This is sad news I found.
Oh dear.
Well, Patricia found, but I found in the little news article she sent us. R.I.P. Oscar-winning Terminator, Critters, and Clowns effects artist Gene Warren, Jr. has passed away. Back in 1992, Terminator 2 Judgment Day took 4 Oscars home from the Academy Awards, one of which was for Best Visual Effects. It was on that night that Fantasy II film effects owner Gene Warren Jr. became an Oscar winner, almost exactly 30 years after his father, who had won the Best Special Effects statue for his work on 1960's The Time Machine. Learned the sad news via friend fellow special effects artist Bart J. Mixon that the legendary Gene Warren Jr. passed away last week. He was 77 years old. Now, last week being from December 2nd. So yes, last week. Mixon wrote on Facebook, Gene was Fantasy II film effects. Supervising the visual effects for so many classics of the 80s, Gene gave my big break in Hollywood when he asked me to set up a creature effects department at Fantasy II. Our first project together was Fright Night Part 2, followed by Stephen King's It, Danger Island, and Magic in the Water. I also worked for Gene on their model shop on shows like Terminator 2 and Attack of the 50-Foot Woman. Gene also employed my brother Brett for most of his film career. He gave us both many great opportunities, and he will be sorely missed. Gene Warren Jr. indeed contributed to many beloved genre films throughout the 1980s, also including The Terminator, The Return of the Living Dead, Critters, Bad Dreams, Lady in White, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, Pet Sematary, The Abyss. Post-1980s, he worked on Tremors, Bram Stoker's Dracula, Dr. Giggles, Last Action Hero, True Lies, Lord of Illusions, The Crow, City of Angels, Scream 3, The Mothman Prophecies, and the Underworld films. Cinefex notes Gene was a passionate political activist and adherent of handcrafted in-camera practical effects. In recent years, Gene taught an introduction to and history of pre-digital visual effects and University of Southern California. He wrote several novels, and he developed a talent for karaoke, particularly Roy Orbison, a true legend of the field, to say the least. So yeah, that is sad news. Great visual effects. And that is an important thing, is the moving forward, it's like right now because technology has advanced so rapidly, there are lots of people who are well aware of how to do practical effects, but as things move to more digital as time goes on, I'm wondering how many of those techniques will be lost to time.
Right. I do wonder that too, because we had a conversation about this, I want to say last Life in Wire 2, where we talked about the difference between practical effects and CGI, and how I was saying that sometimes I feel like the answer is to find a middle ground, a combination of the two. Even though that would take more time, it still feels like that would be the best choice. But yeah, I do wonder about that. There are so many practical effects that I feel like as time goes by are going to be forgotten about and lost, because the people who understood how to best use them are dead, and they didn't have anyone to leave their knowledge behind to.
Yeah, I mean, looking at blood effects in movies, that seems like a very simple thing. It's surprising just how long it took before blood effects actually looked good in color.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's in black and white, there's like chocolate syrup. That's how you did blood in black and white.
Right.
But as soon as you move to color, obviously chocolate syrup's not going to work, and there's a classic 70s stage blood, which you see in so many movies, specifically around the 70s. Like, color's a thing. We have blood in this because it's Grindhouse. It's 70s. The drive-in movies are dying, and we're trying to get as many asses in seats as we can. So we have violence, so we have blood, so here's the stage blood, and it's this bright red, perfectly opaque, watery, it's this weird-looking thick shit. I don't like the look of 70s stage blood, but I recognize it so much from movies of that era. And it took some time before that just became something that actually looked decent on film. And so I'm thinking, like, moving forward, more and more digital effects, how many of the old techniques are just going to be lost to time?
Right.
Well. So we're at 2 hours and 20 minutes. So we should probably see about getting. Oh, okay. Riot Games settled the lawsuit for gender discrimination. So that was a thing that happened. How much did they have to pay out? They settled it, which isn't necessarily the best outcome.
A settlement is usually not disclosed to the general public, which is one reason why a lot of companies prefer to go that route, is they don't have to necessarily say how much.
And it's not an admission of guilt, legally speaking.
Right, legally speaking, it's not an admission of guilt. It's just, well, this has gone on long enough, and we're sick of this shit, so we're paying them to go away.
Yeah, so we're going to read that out, or I don't know. Is that worth reading out, or should I find a different news article? I heard horror stories from Riot Games, but because it never went, personally, I'm glad that if that's all the stuff that went down, I'm glad that there's the monetary compensation. But at the same time, I personally would have preferred it go to court and it actually be determined completely exactly what in the hell went down. Though there is of course the assumption that if they didn't do anything wrong, then they should have been fine in court and therefore wouldn't have had to pay out $10 million. Yeah, that's I'm pretty sure that's higher than basic court costs for defending yourself.
Riot Games has agreed to a payout of a minimum of $10 million in a settlement of a gender discrimination class action lawsuit, according to the LA Times. The settlement still has to be approved by the court. Those in the class action lawsuit will get an amount of money based on their tenure, length, and status as an employee. The plaintiff's lawyer, Ryan Sabah, said that the settlement's overall amount was partially determined by the existing gulf in salary between women and men at Riot, according to Kotaku. The lawsuit arose out of allegations last year from an expose by Kotaku of sexist treatment of female employees and a toxic, misogynistic workplace culture. This led to lawsuits, which sparked an attempt by Riot to change the company's workplace culture. However, this wasn't without controversy, as employees walked out when it was discovered that Riot was trying to change its sexual harassment and assault policies to force disputes into private arbitration instead of the court system.
Kind of like Riot, how YouTube does the copyright stuff.
Pretty much. Riot later amended the policy so that only new employees could take the company to court, which, that doesn't sound like the actions of an innocent party. That sounds bad. Despite the settlement and Riot's reaction to these events, changing the company remains a work in progress. I think that's putting it very, very generously. One employee told Kotaku that Riot's rhetoric about healing and moving on leaves something to be desired. Why am I having Channel Awesome flashbacks? Since the company continues to employ senior male employees named in the lawsuit in the first place. And that's pretty much it, so.
Okay. So yeah, we also have a $4.99 super chat from Peter Version 1. Please review the movie Sleepers. Also, love your reviews. Good night. Good night, Peter Version 1. Sleepers. I'm trying to remember exactly which one that is. I've had my mind on something else.
On just one thing?
Okay, good point. Bill Cage 32 says, "They're sorry you feel that way." God. God damn it. Oh, man. See, I try and play devil's advocate as hard as I can on these kinds of things because, anyone can accuse anyone of anything. And I guess there's a thing that still bothers me every now and again. Is there was a time when there was someone who was saying some pretty horrendous shit in one of my live streams, and not live and wired, but like on the gaming channel.
Right.
And I was in VR, and it was the first time this kind of thing had happened to me. I'm not entirely sure what to do. I was trying to just kind of ignore it and just move on, and then it was clear that wasn't going to work, so I had to go in and change a bunch of stuff, and that eventually took care of the issue. But because I didn't jump up and down and scream how horrible it was as soon as possible, someone watching assumed that meant that I was, like, racist. And I'm like, what in the fuck? So there was a short period of time when there was, like, I was worried that it was going to become a snowball effect of just all these accusations of racism, and I'm thinking, like, you motherfuckers, do you have any goddamn idea how ridiculous it is to accuse me of being racist? Me. I'm not going to pull out the black friend card because it's stupid, because it's racist. I was just, like, really, and I think back to that and such, every once in a while, because I lost a few patrons over that, actually. It was, like, going for a bit there. It's a little blip. I worked hard to try and make sure that was all that it was. But, yeah, I was just trying to, like, not feed the troll. Don't feed the troll, that's the thing. And it didn't go quite as well as it could have. Hindsight is 20/20, it always is. But the fact that there was like a potential where it could have been like plastered everywhere, Decker Shadow the racist, and I'm like, what the fuck? So anytime I see someone being accused of horrible shit, I'm like, okay, where's your proof? Where's your proof? Because I was accused of some pretty heinous shit myself, and I know damn sure that ain't fucking true. I gotta bring Thick Black Daddy on one of these streams. He'd have fun. And he'd be here saying, no, motherfucker, you racist as shit. And we'd all have a good time. Mainly because you'd be uncomfortable as hell, Creepy.
Pretty much.
It's usually Patricia uncomfortable. I gotta make somebody uncomfortable. Can't make the chat uncomfortable. That's how you get like the ticks down on the view count. Like, no, everyone's leaving. Have Decker and Creepy, have either of you seen Star Chaser: The Legend of Orion? It sounds familiar, but I can't...
I was going to say, yeah, I feel like I've heard that, but...
Yeah, Lone Dragon, I don't know. I cannot say. I'm pretty sure if I had seen it, I'd be like, oh yeah, that one. But I'm thinking like maybe I have heard of it, but haven't actually seen it. It says 1985. Star Chaser: The Legend of Orion. Animated dark movie. Okay, no. I did not. Similar to Star Wars. Okay. I should probably check it out. Fujisar says, don't worry, Decker. You make me uncomfortable, and I'm still here. So, yeah. As just bleh, brain thing. Like, that's why I always... that's why I always just like, okay, where's the proof? Play as hard of devil's advocate as you can. Desperately need proof. That's why I'm like, damn it, they didn't actually go to court. I want proof, damn it. Everything seems horrible, and it's logical to err that way, and I accept that. But I want hard proof. Hey, Decker, how's life? I'm talking about trying to have a baby and how I can't afford it. And how everyone's like, no, don't do that. Well, not everyone, but they're like, are you crazy? Are you serious? Congratulations. Wait, you're talking about it? Oh. Like, stuff like that. I don't know. I've been drinking a bit tonight. That's probably the best answer to that question. Okay, let's find news.
Let's do that.
Okay, yes. I'm trying to figure out what's this. Patricia dropped this one here saying... It's a new YouTube rule that is threatening animation content creators. Here's what you need to know about COPPA. Well, we already know about COPPA. Oh, this is an article from the 26th of November. So, yeah, it's... okay, everyone already knows about this. I don't think we need to read... This is a long article, too. Jesus.
Damn.
Holy hell.
So that one came out like just a couple of days after the last live stream.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, there's like me when my friend talks about his conspiracy theories. I hear him talk about corn making you sterile one more time. I swear! It's Orin, not Orion. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Orin. I need to wear my glasses more often. That's the deal there. I'm safe, I hope. I talked to my MCN lawyers. I need to get an MCN. Well, I'm not an MCN, but I need to get a lawyer. But, yeah, I was already looking at getting a lawyer just to deal with Little Dot Studios. But at the same time, the way Little Dot Studios deals with things is technically legal because it's a private thing, kind of thing. It's weird. Their fraud is legal according to this little loophole thing. So I'm trying to figure, like, okay, does that mean I sue them or does that mean I sue YouTube? Who do I gotta sue here? Do I wear glasses just to read? Actually, the opposite. I'm nearsighted, so I can read, I can see the screen relatively well. My eyes have been getting worse, I've been getting older, so I should probably wear glasses possibly 24/7 soon. But I don't need to go get new glasses, first of all. My glasses I've had for 15 years. They are showing their age. My eyes are not as good as they were 15 years ago, so the glasses help, but not enough.
Right.
And so I'm nearsighted. I need my glasses to drive, not to read. So anything close to me, I can see pretty well. But if it gets too far, it's all blurry as hell. But not too bad. Like, I could still read the ingredients on this at arm's length. So that's not a good example. Oh well. But I can't read signs on the streets when I'm driving unless they get within like 50 feet if I don't have my glasses on. And that ain't good. You're going too fast at that point. You gotta have your glasses to be able to see the shit. So, yeah, okay, let's see. What else? There's a... That was kind of the YouTube news, except for the fact that the YouTube Rewind that we also kind of opened on because I had just seen it receives negative feedback, but surprising who? Who is surprised that the YouTube Rewind of 2019 didn't go over so well? It's like a holiday on YouTube. They put out a new Rewind and you go over there to dislike it. It's what you do. Okay. Now I'm trying to figure out what the hell... Oh, that is interesting. Is that recent? Because that could be fun. I don't have money, but... I mean, I don't have enough money. I have money. Clearly, I have money. I have a little bit of money. But not enough for something like this. Boom! Alien and Aliens Collection Auction. 2nd to 14th of December. Bid now. 6 days, 4 hours, 27 minutes, and 47 seconds left. Whew. Prop Store presents a collection of blueprints, die lines, production artwork, behind-the-scenes photo sets, and some never-seen-before content from the production of Alien and Aliens. Preview gallery. So we got the flamethrower kind of blueprint stuff going on here. It's nice. Behind-the-scenes photos of the face hugginess. Also nice. Space station interiors blueprint or artwork. Original hand-drawn product. Do they have any of the original concept art where the alien was this weird little yellow tentacled thing, like that? I'd like some of that. That's a piece of history right there. Okay, they got the shipping info, the terms and conditions, buyer's guide. All okay. This is just straight up just purchasing power right here. But yeah, on PropStoreAuction.com, UKM, we got this lovely auction for Alien and Aliens collection auction. I'm gonna link that in the chat real fast. Like,
okay,
boom. In case anyone has an ass ton of money that they would like to spend on alien paraphernalia, then you may do so.
Hooray!
Okay. So yeah, that's that bit of news. Oh, God.
All right.
So, there's a new Planet of the Apes movie being directed with director Wes Ball. Should you take this or should I?
You're the Planet of the Apes person.
Sling Blade Sally says, Decker, is your chair wearing a hat or do I need to put the beer down? My chair is wearing a Mimikyu hoodie.
He's gotten a lot of people react to that in the last few episodes. I mean, like, there have been people who were like, is Decker possessed? Is he, like, worshiping Satan now? No, he just has a hoodie.
That's Charlie's Mimikyu hoodie. We don't really have room in the closet, so that's where it goes. Okay. New Planet of the Apes movie in... Oh, yeah, I'm gonna skip your fucking ad deadline. Go eat some cereal. Yeah, that's what I'm doing now. New Planet of the Apes movie in early development at 20th Century Fox with director Wes Ball. The apes will live on. Deadline has confirmed that 20th Century Fox, under its new parent Disney, has tapped Maze Runner filmmaker Wes Ball to develop a new Planet of the Apes movie. It's very early in the works, and it's not certain if this will pick up where Matt Reeves' War for the Planet of the Apes left off, or if it's a complete remake. For the love of God, it's supposed to take place in the future with a planet run by apes. Can we please get there again? Okay, sorry. Starting in 1968, the movie spawned 5 titles based on Pierre Boulle's French novel La Planète des Singes. I spent so long trying to actually memorize how to say that. Uh, Along with a 70s series and action figures before there were Star Wars toys. Tim Burton rebooted with one pick starring Mark Wahlberg in 2001. It earned $362.1 million worldwide, but didn't spawn a new series. But then in 2011, Rise of the Planet of the Apes gave a more modern spin on the tale, with Andy Serkis in the role of Caesar, the ape who morphs from lab study to king of the monkeys. That's racist, they are apes. Through 3 movies, including Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and War, the trio grossed $1.68 billion around the globe. Ball's Maze Runner trilogy has grossed close to $949 million at the worldwide box office. Okay, that's the entire article. Okay. So, yeah, new Planet of the Apes. I hope to God we get a Planet of the Apes movie where it's in the fucking future and there's a planet ruled by apes. I enjoy Rise, War, all the stuff that has, hey, here's how the apes did it before. Mm-hmm. But that's all technically prequel material.
Right.
I want to get back into the meat of the fucking thing.
Well, if you remember, the meat of the fucking thing is just one big spoiler that everybody knows about.
That is true.
It was Earth. Oh my God!
I was wrong. It was Earth all along. I guess you finally made a monkey. Yes, we finally made a monkey. Yes, you finally made a monkey out of me. I love you, Dr. Zaius! Oh, boy. Savage Tiger 13 dropped $20 saying, just wanted to say that I will follow you guys and continue to give my support if the new changes to YouTube force you to move elsewhere. I hope they don't. Technically, the changes are not necessarily just you. It's not. I mean, COPPA applies everywhere. The thing is, it's whether or not you. The COPPA is about Child's Online Privacy Protection Act, and it's a 20-year-old law, and it's. The thing with COPPA that is really kind of frustrating to me is the whole thing where, with YouTube, none of the YouTubers, we are collecting information on children. And I guess maybe there are a couple of YouTubers out there who technically collected children's information, and that's against COPPA. But the way it's working is like, oh, if you do videos that are targeted to kids, then kids will watch those videos in theory, and YouTube collects the data on people who watch the videos. And so if that's done to a kid, then that is against the rules of COPPA, which means that YouTube has done a bad, which means the creator gets punished. You still don't have the information on the kid, but you're going to be fined for collecting it. Mm-hmm. I'm still really confused by all the damn things about it, but every time I hear people talk about COPPA, they're all like, it's about protecting kids, so of course we have to protect the kids. And I'm thinking like, but do we really? I mean,
won't somebody please think of the children?
I mean, you're collecting information on what video these motherfuckers are watching. If this is a horrible invasion of privacy, why the fuck are you doing it to me all the goddamn time?
Right.
If it's a problem, then why isn't it a problem when it happens to me?
This is like, you know, in the 80s, had basic half-hour and toy commercials, and people were talking about how exploitive that was.
There was actually a very good video on COPPA that's actually detailed what COPPA has done over the years, and like the first time COPPA really struck and did something like, you broke the law of COPPA, we're coming for you. It was against a cookie manufacturer who had a thing where kids could put in their birthday. And on their birthday, they would be sent a coupon for a free cookie. Not anymore, thanks to COPPA. The kids aren't getting cookies anymore. Ha! Protect those kids. That's kind of the thing that COPPA has been doing. There's been like, I think a total of 0 instances of kids who were actually could be described by anything logistically as being victims of something that has been stopped. It's Kids have been kept from having cookies thanks to Kappa. Kids are not going to be served those ads for kids because, but YouTube Kids still exists, but that's all a different thing. But Google fucked up. Google was collecting information on kids when they shouldn't have. That was against Kappa, and now the creators have to pay for it. It's like, it's kind of like if you're renting an apartment and find out that the landlord of the apartment has been like running a drug smuggling ring out of a corner of it. But then the fine for doing this is just divvied out to all of the people who live at the apartment instead. Like, how does this make sense? Why would that be the way you go about it? Everyone's heard enough about Kappa. There's too much crap anymore. You just gotta keep on keeping on. Just go forward, make videos, and whatever happens, happens. I'm gonna keep making reviews. You're gonna keep making reviews. We're all gonna keep making reviews. And we're all gonna keep making content, and wherever we can do it, we will do it. That is how it works. That's at least how I just try not to worry too much about the future. Because...
True. I mean, there's a new thing like this.
Like every other week.
It just seems
there's
like,
a new doomsday that's going to wipe out YouTube as we know it.
I mean, it seems like we end this show every 2 weeks. We end this show, and we always have something that YouTube is doing that is horrible and unnecessary and is inconvenient.
Creepy, were you intending to send those messages to someone else?
No.
You weren't?
No.
Because you sent them to me.
I know.
Right. Oh, it's just I'm rambling.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Anyway. But yeah. Also, just something I saw earlier that I thought was funny. Fujisaur said, "How dare you give kids free cookies?"
Yeah, that's... Oh, God. So, we have a little bit of...
I'm reminded of my Vampirella that I have on Midnight Wing Theater, where there's that scene where the bare-chested vampire woman is in the hotel room, and then the hero just gives her this odd look, and Kindle's reaction to that, both when we were watching it and in the review, he said, the guy is just looking at her like, how dare you bring titties in here?
Hi, little Winks. Kappa just needs to make the rules less vague. That would help, because it's just way too goddamn vague. Way too goddamn vague.
Like, that seems to be the biggest problem, is that...
It's up to interpretation. Very loose interpretation.
Right. Of course, they want it vague, so they can interpret it in a way that will be convenient and beneficial to them.
Yeah. So... What you think about that article, Creepy?
Like I said, it just seems like every week there's a new doomsday. We close out Live and Wired with some horrible YouTube news that they're doing. So, I mean, Kappa is... Remember when Sopa... I think you and I had
Sopa,
just started...
Pippa...
Yeah. Seems like you... when Sopa...
It just reminds me of that scene from Demolition Man. After AIDS, there was NRS. After NRS, there was UBT.
And that's why no one can have sex. Naked women will call you on your vid phone on Skype, but you won't be having sex with anybody.
Lil Wiggs is saying tried to donate $500, but my PayPal won't work. That is unfortunate.
That is very unfortunate.
But we'll have Live and Wired again in 2 weeks, so yay.
There's that. Here's something that I wondered about. I didn't bring it up in the review, unfortunately. I was too busy freaking Decker out by pointing out all of the cross shots that were in that movie. But I remember one thing that always confused me about Demolition Man in regards to sex was, where do LGBT people fit in? You know, like if they outlawed sex in general and you have to have a license to get pregnant, like where do LGBT people, LGBT plus people rather, where does that minority fit in?
I'd assume the hats fit on anybody, but they didn't show anything like that. But I don't know. It's a '90s movie. Michael One Kong says, I tried to donate $100,000 for my calculator, but it wouldn't work. Sad. Creepy. I got an idea. Okay.
Decker has an idea. Mark your calendars, everybody.
No, way to go. Okay. No, you son of a bitch. Can I? There we go. Okay. So we are going to add $100,000. Okay, we have $100,000. There we go.
Did you just pull a War Games maneuver?
Not nearly as complex as that. Oh god, Saren Sorrow says, quick, someone donate a huge amount that Decker goes bankrupt from paying taxes on it. Oh god. Reboot Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, this time more stupid. Wasn't that Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves? Or Honey, I Blew Up the Kid? But it wasn't actually like exploding, it was just like the baby was a kaiju now.
Right.
Well, those weren't reboots, though. That was definitely sequels. I remember renting Honey, I Shrunk the Kids from the library, but it was the assisted hearing version. It was like, the family sits at the dinner table. They can hardly see each other over how huge the food is.
You know, hearing you say that, suddenly there is a lot of sense. I did not rent the assisted hearing version from the library. I rented the movie from the rental store back. It was in the dark ages before Netflix. But yeah, I remember liking the first movie. The second movie was okay.
Oh god, Teddy Rubskin. Honey, I sold the kids into slavery. Ah. No, that got too dark too fast.
What? Oh.
Do I have any plans to do Child's Play next summer? The kids are dead, oh god. Oh no. No. Very dark. Very dark.
Yeah. I remember when the Simpsons were getting in on the act. It was like, honey, I hit a school bus. Not much better.
Honey, I traded the kids for cryptocurrency. Oh. God damn it. Bitcoin actually did pretty well, though, which makes that joke in my 90s it not work out so well anymore. Well, hey, Georgie, we got tons of money down here. Can I buy stuff with it? No, Georgie, it's Bitcoin. What happens to him after the events of War Games? Asks Motorcycle US on a $2 super chat. It's been a long time since I've seen War Games. Yeah, I just remember it ending on tic-tac-toe.
Right. But the beginning.
Oh god, Lone Dragon says, "Honey, I'm doing drugs."
Yes.
Oh god. Jane Silent Bob reboot review? Are they rebooting Jane Silent Bob?
Oh man.
Or did we talk about that in the last Live and Wired? I can't remember. It was like, oh god. Honey, the kids just saw the Toxic Avenger.
Sure. Honey, I just introduced the kids to Decker's Shadow.
Oh no, that's terrifying. That's terrifying indeed. It's kind of the Jamie Lee Curtis thing where she's like, "Hey, little Jimmy loves Halloween," and she's there like, "You son of a bitch." I'm not quite that harsh. It's just when people are like, "Hey, Decker, my 7-year-old loves your show." I'm like, 7? What? Who? Why? This? Huh? This is weird now.
Hey Decker, here's one for you.
Honey, I punched the kids.
Honey, I hired Creepy as a babysitter.
It was rebooted and it was terrible and nobody saw it. Like, it was rebooted?
Okay.
Wait. Jay and Silent Bob was so bad nobody even bothered talking about it. Ooh. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Kevin Smith, why?
Fujisaur, honey, I took the kids to the Overlook Hotel.
Oh jeez. Yeah, but we gotta.
Oh great, Decker's at the family babble time portion of the show.
We got to do the Stephen King drinking game again. If we can get Stephen King on for it, that'd be great. I don't think we can, but
I don't think we can. No. But does Stephen King have Twitter?
Probably. I mean, most do. Most celebrities do.
Mm-hmm. But I remember when that first started, like, making the news, when people were like talking about how exciting it was that celebrities had Twitter, and now now people are like, well, yeah, duh.
I don't know if it's him who uses it or his handlers, but I'm pretty sure Stephen King. Yeah. SourceFear says Stephen King does have a Twitter. Kat Luniska adds for promoting things. Oh God, honey, I use the kid's blood as bathing oil. This is going to be the darkest damn little sort of chat meme. Honey, I started a cult.
Honey, I started a
cult. Honey, I ate the kids' livers with fava beans and a nice Shanti.
But yeah, we're talking about doing the next Stephen King drinking game in January. We're thinking it will either be the 11th or the 25th. Like I said, I'm voting for the 11th, and I'm also voting for Langoliers.
Oh yeah, that should be fun. I gotta get Langoliers and actually watch it like completely myself, just because I like to watch the things before doing the drinking game, just to think about it the first time through. Like, is that a drink spot? Is that a drink spot? Is that a drink spot? So that later when I'm actually sauced up, I can be like, "Oh, we at that spot yet? Yeah, that's what I'll get."
Don't drink hard liquor this time. Stick to the light stuff.
Okay.
Because you almost pickled yourself.
Yes, I did. Did Patricia say I was like, 2 or 1 shots away from just being cut off? Because it's like, This is a part that you told me mathematically, if you go above this line, you have a possibility to die.
Right. Yes. So, like, I think there should be more points, more shots to take in Langoliers, because Langoliers is definitely one of the goofier Stephen King adaptations. So,
honey, I did a WWE wrestling move on the kid, and it died. Oh, dear God.
Honey, we're having an orgy with Creepy and Decker.
Honey, I slept with your dad.
That seems like a Jerry Springer episode.
That's just the title of it right there. Honey, I slept with your dad. Oh, God.
James Hall said, honey, the kid's laughing at the exorcist.
So, yeah, we should probably... We got like 5 minutes to go. We never did a Twitter poll! Oh! Fuck! And Creepy had an idea for one, too, and I was like, nah, that won't work. And I never came up with another one.
Oh, sure. You don't like my ideas.
Shit! Oh, holidays, man, they're busy.
You for this. I blame you.
Yes, I blame me too.
Good.
Honey, I buried the kids in Pet Cemetery. Oh God. Oh boy. But yeah, we should talk about, like, we got 5 minutes to go, and we got 5 minutes. Technically, our end time is like more malleable than the start time, but yeah, we should talk about exactly what it is we are working on ourselves.
I've got a new review that I'm planning on posting tomorrow, internet permitting. Let's see, more X-Men, more Batman. I have I did watch the next 2 episodes in the DuckTales review, so hopefully I'll get that written and set off soon so I can get that up. And we do have a new Supernatural coming soon too. Somebody was asking about that earlier. Motorcycle US. Yeah, I think it was. Decker?
Okay, so I have nothing.
Good night, everybody.
Okay, so technically, I do have a couple things. First of all, Motorcycle US dropped $2 saying, "Stay gold, guys, and happy holidays." Thank you very much. Oh, Takeover Fairy says, "Honey, I am Decker Shadow." I had to tell that. I had to tell that to Charlie at some point. Technically, when we first got together, I didn't tell her what I did for a living.
Damn.
It was kind of odd that I kept saying I have to work whenever I left. Like, I could show up here this whole day, but then I have to leave because I have work to do. And I'm not saying what work it is I do. But, so, it sooner rather than later it came out, yeah, I'm a YouTuber. So, yeah. But I didn't want her to, like, I didn't want to come in there like, "So, honey, I'm like a celebrity. Isn't that so hot? Yeah. Take those pants off right now."
Sling Blade Sally.
I mean, I did come in like that, but I didn't want to. So.
Sling Blade Sally said, "Honey, Patricia can never miss another live again."
Oh, no. No. But yeah, I've got Dinosaurs is continuing, of course. Next one up is the Eden Project, which you may think you have never seen before. However, I have reviewed Carnosaur, Carnosaur 2, Carnosaur 3, and Raptor, which means pretty much I've already seen this movie. Because it's another Carnosaur movie, and like all other Carnosaur movies, it uses clips of every single previous Carnosaur movie to fill out the running time. So that is the Eden Project. We're going to look forward to that one soon. Got more coming for Dinosember, of course. And on the gaming channel, I've had fuck all for a while. So hopefully I can actually do some gaming. Yeah. But other than that, there's also another project that I'm working on the side. A little game, hopefully, can get that squared away. Maybe do some prototype runs of. I don't know. I'm hopeful for this game. It's one of those where I'm thinking, like, best case scenario, this game does really well, and a lot of YouTubers like it, and they play it, and it gets a little Cards Against Humanity kind of popularity to it, and then make a ton of money. That'd be nice. But generally speaking, I just want to finish the game because I want to play it, and I'm really annoyed at myself for not finishing making the game yet. So,
despite me, and I'm like, he's like, I got all this stuff. I've got like over 1,000.
Yeah, you're cutting out pretty bad, creepy.
Oh, okay. Testing.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, it was like, I've got like almost 1,000 cards. What do I do? And I'm like, trim it down.
It wasn't almost 1,000. It's almost 1,000 now. That's after trimming. Before it was like 3,000 to 5,000 cards estimated that I was going to need to make. So, okay. Motorcycle US also dropped $2 asking, "What's y'all's favorite dino anyway?" I like to go back to Old Faithful, Parasaurolophus.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I know how to pronounce it.
Stegosaurus.
Yeah, Parasaurolophus. Always it's an interesting one because It's not one of the ones that you'd see all the damn time, really. But, and that gave it a little bit more of a thing where I could try and research Parasaurolophus and find out more interesting little things about Parasaurolophus, where it's like, oh yeah, Brontosaurus, Brachiosaurus, Apatosaurus, Diplodocus, Yangchangosaurus, all these fucking sauruses, Tyrannosaurus, Velociraptor, Deinonychus, Diplodocus, all these motherfuckers. Okay, maybe I'm not going to be the best paleontology teacher. I'm just like, all these motherfuckers.
Okay, on my end, you have turned green and pixelated.
Cool. I like it.
Anyway, thank you all for
Decosaurus.
watching. I have been the guy.
I've been Darker Shadow. And remember who you are. Also, if you have that $500 next stream, that'd be really helpful, because Christmas is a son of a bitch. But, okay. Good night, everybody.